smell the blood of a fox's hand. The sun burns me and refuses to shed. When you talk, it's not wrong, it just passes me off. Back to basics, back to the roots, back to square one, back to reality. Back to basics, back to the roots, back to square one, back to reality. Back to basics, back to the roots, back to square one, back to reality. Back to basics, back to the roots, back to square one, back to square one.
And I think that's how it's done. Hey, yo, welcome to the show. I am Harry. To the left of me is Tyson.
Let me
And we
talk
come
to you.
and we come to you properly chastened. We are what's the right word, Tyson?
I don't know where you're going with this.
Well, I feel like that we should apologize.
Yes, we should apologize. We had a mistake this week. We need to come out here and apologize. If you're new here, as a lot of you are, you would have saw us release a video for Ricochet, and we pissed off a lot of people in the comments. So for that, we apologize. That you guys are punk ass bitches.
We are sorry that fucking bitches. Come on. Ricochet.
It's not even that it's
Set the
Ricochet. You
record
just
straight.
got
Ricochet sucks.
soft.
He'll always suck. Yeah.
And let's also set the record straight. You come in here, you come into our house, you start insulting us, you're gonna get some clap back, okay? Not just gonna sit there and take it. We're not punching bags like Fightful. We're not gonna go make a video talking about how everybody's mean to us. We're gonna clap back, maybe cook you harder than you come with. We match your energy, I should say. It's all in good fun though, by the way.
What that? How was your week?
Pretty good week. I was having a lot of fun going back at people in the comments.
Oh, we're
Did I
past.
cross the line? Maybe. But it was a line that needed to be crossed.
Well, aside from that, anything interesting happen?
No, unfortunately not. Saw a lot of good wrestling.
A lot of good wrestling.
Yeah,
We must have watched different wrestling then.
we may have.
Well, I guess let's go ahead and jump into it then. So it's Raw, Toledo, Ohio, and they showed like a whole bunch of people at the like top of the arena just clapping like seals. It's kind of cool. And tonight's walkers are Braun Breaker and Faces Dragunov. Breaker and Faces are fighting each other later. And Damage Control and the ugly NXT chick. Io's facing ugly NXT chick. And to prove my theory that the wrestlers just walk around in circles when they're not wrestling, Damage Control actually did their entrance to an empty arena for their little walking segment. So that means that they went to the ring, did their little entrance, then went back to the back to walk around some more.
Kevin Owens changed shirts.
The Scotland 316 thing.
Yeah, he was wearing a different shirt during his walking.
Oh.
And then, yeah, when he was on camera, the next segment, or no, it wasn't the next segment, but when he was on camera again. But, you know, we're supposed to be believed that that's what he gets to the arena in.
Well, he had to break into the arena. Remember, he had to argue with the security guard.
Yeah.
Because he's Kevin Owens. He's sneaky. He's a scoundrel.
Well, you can also look at it as because he doesn't look like a wrestler. So they didn't know to let him in.
That too.
He's great, though.
Well, Priest and McIntyre had a thing. McIntyre came out. Crowd starts doing the CM Punk chants. McIntyre's like, no. That's not, we're not about that right now. I'm focused. And he says he was looking forward to his one-on-one match with Priest, but he needs Judgment Day. So immediately Priest comes out with Judgment Day. Says he doesn't need them with Judgment Day, by the way. Priest sets up a match between Drew and Balor. If McIntyre wins, Judgment Day is banned from ringside. If Balor wins, well, Judgment Day just is all over the shit. And then McIntyre tells Priest that he respects a man who's willing to dig his own grave and agrees. So McIntyre's winning and Priest has got all kinds of what chanted as far as my analysis.
Pretty spot on.
And skip Judgment Day and Useless Liv Morgan, etc.
Oh, I got it. That's I was waiting for the good part. So we go to the Judgment Day clubhouse after the Balor segment, yada yada. We go to the Judgment Day clubhouse. Liv is sitting there in a skirt. That's important for the story. And Dom walks in. He's like, no. You got to get out of here. So at this point, it's just Liv and Dom. And she offers him her hotel key. And she says, you don't need to be with a girl that makes you call her mommy. You need to be with a girl who is not afraid to call you daddy. Slips him in the key. Says, come to my room if you change your mind. So the hotel key room is going to be very important to the rest of Raw. So I needed to get that in.
Okay, hold on real quick. So he's been in private little rooms with her. He's had conversations with her. Why is it all of a sudden, oh, I don't want to do that. Girls are nasty.
Because
it's fucking stupid.
He's defending his...
But he already...
She's trying to seduce him. He's fighting it off.
But he's already having like little secret meetings with her.
But we don't know what that was about. Maybe he was telling the truth. Maybe... By the way, so, I initially thought that maybe this was like him. He's secretly doing this with Liv, and then we're going to find out that they've been, in this all together. But maybe it's a different movie. Maybe, because I was flipping through channels the other day, and I saw Obsession with Idris Elba, Beyonce, and some white chick. And the movie...
Wow.
And the movie is that she comes on to him. He throws off her advances, and then she becomes obsessed, and then it turns into like a Lifetime movie where she's, trying to break in his house and all that. Take over. Maybe it's that.
I like that movie better when it was called Fatal Attraction with Michael Douglas and Glenn Close and some other white people you never heard of.
I think when it was Obsession, it was done a little bit better.
No,
It just sounds like
wasn't.
it.
Not at all. Did you- did-
It sounds like the
Did you
acting was superb when it was Obsession.
did you see any titties in Obsession?
No,
There you go.
I said it was Beyonce and some other chick. Prestige. They ain't gonna show anything. It's not like the '90s where you had to show stuff to get over. Now you'd like have respect and stuff.
There's no respect. That's why everybody's a drone with no talent.
Well, like, I don't know, like Scarlett Johansson or I don't know.
What
Who's the
what masterpiece has Scarlett Johansson been in?
I'm saying if this was back in the '90s, Scarlett Johansson, she breaks into the industry. You're just waiting on, I don't know, Wild Things or something. It's like, oh yeah, when is it coming?
Well, if she did that,
What movie
it
is
would
it gonna
justify
happen
her
in?
being around still.
Oh,
She needs to whip him out. Like, all right, Scarlett. It's been 10 years. Let's cut to brass tacks now.
well, now we've moved on because yeah, she's getting up there. Now we gotta find a new thing. Like
Wait for the direction, because it's all like, oh, can't hold hands now in movies. Wait for the overcorrection. You're gonna be seeing big black dicks just swinging around on in everyday movies.
yeah, that'll be funny.
Mm. I don't know how we got off on that.
Oh, because I said that the Liv Morgan story is turning into Obsession as opposed to them working together.
And I pointed out that Fatal Attraction's a better movie.
Yeah,
It's a lot more pure.
but I think that's what's happening here. She's becoming obsessed with him, and then Rhea Ripley comes back. She saves him, and then it's like a great love story being told here. Or it could still be the other way that they're working around. There's going to be some more details later, so we'll come back to more details.
Michael Douglas was also in a movie called Disclosure with Demi Moore. She forces herself on him.
See,
And he
Demi
says
Moore.
No.
She's in Demi Moore was in a freaking military movie, and she had to show him a military movie.
Did she show him it? I never saw that movie.
Yeah, that was like the only part of it I saw.
Fair enough.
I knew my priorities back then.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Like, oh, there was a
you're not gonna watch
site that like told you.
Right. Well, you're not gonna watch a Demi Moore movie for her, talents, because she only has 2 of them.
Well, some people said it was a good movie, but the only takeaways were she showed him and she shaved her head. That was my takeaways of that movie. But again, I didn't watch the whole thing. I got to the point I needed, and then I was like, I'm out.
I seem to remember that's why everybody said it was a good movie. Like, oh, she shaved her head. That means she's really dedicated to the role.
Well, that was like, yeah. The like critics and stuff, that's what they were praising, but you go to the the Cretans and they're praising it for other reasons.
So anything else with
a movie called Money Train? Because anyway,
anything else with
for now?
Okay. Io Sky beat the ugly NXT chick. I don't believe the ugly NXT chick at all with the stupid faces that she makes. And then Damage Control attacked her after the match, and some other bitches came out to help. And later, Io Sky screamed for no reason. And she says Damage Control has to change again.
I think I saw somewhere that she said something about Damage Control used to be feared, and now they're not feared. Maybe that was last week.
When were they ever feared?
That was last week, yeah, because we had that conversation.
Okay.
So yeah, this is kind of a continuation of that. She said Damage Control needs to change because I don't know why she won the match.
Well, she won by cheating, and then they got punked out by some no-name bitches.
But she told him to back up.
Because
She didn't stand 10 toes down.
She knew that they were going to get their asses whooped, because that's what happens. She's seen the show.
Okay. But yeah, she yells, Damage Control needs to change. And it was the Katana Chance and Kaden Carter were there for the save of Valkyra.
It was cool seeing Io scream, even though it made no sense. It's good shit. So Judgment Day said some shit. They have a 6-man tag match later, but they're more concerned with Dom and useless fucking Liv Morgan. So I skipped it.
Oh, back to me. Good. So, second part of our story. So, yeah, Judgment Day without Damon Priest walks in, and Dom's sitting there in the clubhouse. He's distraught, and they're like, "What's wrong, Dom?" Or they're saying something about they're gonna, win later. Dom is looking down. What's wrong, Dom? Guys, she was here, and she gave me her hotel key. And then they all had a reaction. Carlito was like, "That's cool," and JD said something I didn't understand what he said, and then Finn said, he also said something I didn't get, but yeah, it's just funny that they all had like a reaction. Carlito had the most honest reaction of them all, because if you're boys and one of your boys are, it doesn't matter if they're in a relationship or anything, like if they're getting into situations like you gonna hit like at no point does your guy friends you got kids, man. You have to think about your life. You got to think about your family.
I mean, if you're downgrading, well, you're jumping from that to that. Oh, good luck.
What? That's a whole nother debate. We don't have time for it today. We got a long show, so we have to put that on a burner for another day.
All right. Mommy's better. Mommy's always on top. So Judgment Day. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Sami Zayn. Or are you done?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then Priest walked in and he said, "What's this about this hotel key?"
Hold on. I got a whole setup for that. Don't take my joke.
Okay.
So Sami
Was that later?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sami Zayn runs into Miz, who's looking for R-Truth, and I can't wait for the conclusion of this mystery. Then Zayn runs into No Talent Dupree and Tozawa. He says the same shit to them that he's been saying to them for weeks. Otis slides in, says he's sorry, he lost it. Sammy says he understands because he was there, but Sammy did it for Roman. Why is Otis doing it for Gable? Otis says Gable's his family. Useless Dupree's his sister. Tozawa, who's only been in the group for a few months, is his brother. And Otis says, without Gable, he's nothing. Sammy says, no, Otis, you are special. And the stupid crowd cheers for Otis.
Yep. We also got a mention of Tucker and his peach, which is a reference to Mandy Rose. So there's that. Are they teasing Mandy Rose coming back? As she's done thoughting? I wonder how her thought career is going.
I don't know.
Like, you remember she had that, like, what did she make, like $1 million in a day or something? But you haven't
But
heard it since.
it doesn't matter where we're going.
Actually, I take that back. She is still doing it, and she had a collab with Lana. So I didn't. The the wallet was very flimsy. I didn't pay for it, but it's like, oh boy, if ever there was a day, this might be the one. I might break the curse. But I did it. I held strong. I still can't find anything on the internet though. So come on. What are we doing, guys? Get this get it on the internet here.
Judgment Day again. Everybody's talking, and then Priest slides in. And all right, we're gonna get down to business. Then Priest asks Dominic about useless Liv fucking Morgan. So everybody is just concerned about Liv Morgan. Priest, who's facing Drew McIntyre in just a few days, wants to know about Liv Morgan and is fucking key. Fuck this. Am
My
I on
turn?
mute? Yeah,
Okay. No, I was letting you finish.
thank you.
Yeah, so they're talking about the key, at which point is not on the table. So there's another little mystery there. Like, now where'd the key go? Because Dominic, everybody's trying to put the blame on Dom. Hey, you took the key, and I didn't take it. I didn't take it. So who took the key? And turns out it was Finn Balor who took the key. And I did some journalism. He does like women. So there you go.
I was
You see,
losing
back
sleep
in no.
until we. I remember we talked about that. Yeah, I was glad we got to the bottom of that. So
Yeah,
Mysterio.
Hold on. You see, it was back in November on his Instagram. He posted a picture because he was on vacation with a woman. So there you go. He likes women.
There's also
Apparently,
rumors
he was
that
folding there too. Yeah.
he and Bailey were supposed to have been an item. There were rumors of that.
No. He can't handle Bailey. What are we even talking about here? She'd break him.
Okay. We done with the
Yes.
stupid shit? All right.
We're
stupid
almost
shit.
back to. Yeah, I think there's one more segment, but
yeah. Mysterio, Lee, and Strowman beat Dominic, McTurd, and Carlito. So Carlito can't even win a tag match. He can't even win with somebody else.
yes. I will say that Braun Strowman does seem to be connecting with the crowd. Like, he got a pop. So I don't know what it is. People do like the Braun Strowman. And I guess really. Oh, wait. Another thing happened. More Judgment Day, Dom and Liv story. So number one, Michael Cole couldn't tell Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio apart, so that was funny.
Well, they did dress pretty similar.
They were dressed similar. Like, everybody was shitting on them online. It's like, I mean, look at them. They're the same person. Like, one's wearing shorts and one's wearing long pants. Like, that's your difference.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
that's what you have to go off on.
I mean, the masks are different, but anybody just casually glancing, it's the same fucking person.
Well, that night they were pretty much wearing the same color.
Right. Well, I mean the details.
I know, but in a quick glance, I could see that happening. I couldn't tell them apart.
Or no, I couldn't either. And I knew which one was which, but I still couldn't tell them apart.
Yeah. Like, you gotta actually like be looking and of sound mind to be able to tell them apart. I mean, if anybody has like kids or pets, more than one, you know you've switched the names at some point. So
Right. Well, Dragunov's a lot.
Go ahead. What were you gonna
Yeah.
say?
Dragunov's allowed to make faces via video package, and then he makes faces live with Ricochet.
Oh. Okay. But to jump back just real quick.
All right.
One more Liv and Dom storyline
damn it.
thing, saga. The last piece of the puzzle is Liv Morgan. She came out during the 6-man tag and she tries to help save Dom. By the way, Dom is apparently cleared because he's wrestling a match here. So there was no like grandiose.
Oh, yeah.
He's
I
back.
didn't even notice because of all the bullshit.
So yeah, Liv Morgan, she gets up on the apron. Dom, he slides out of the ring. He's like, "You got to get out of here." Liv Morgan gets knocked off of the apron and into straddle position. So she's straddled Dom. And then they were there for a second. Dom is like frozen, doesn't know what to do. And then finally, Zelina Vega pulls her off and fights her. So that's the last piece of story, is she straddled Dom. Again, much more action he's getting from her than Liv.
Zayn versus Otis. Sammy talked about his feelings before the match. Gable interrupted, thankfully, with Alpha Academy. Gable says Sammy's sticking his nose in other people's business. Alpha Academy are good and will be better when he takes Sammy's belt. Actually, Gunther's belt. Sammy only addresses Alpha Academy being happy, not Gable taking his belt, because that's his priority, because he's a queef. Sammy tells Alpha Academy to leave Gable. Gable says he's unleashing the most savage version of Otis. And of course, Sammy won after Gable distracted Otis by tearing him a new asshole. And Gable attacked Sammy after the match. Then he made Otis reluctantly attack Sammy. Otis bows up to Gable and he backs him into a corner. And Gable was great. He's like, "Please, Otis, please. Please, Otis, don't Otis." And Otis thinks about it. He just leaves. And Gable smiles maniacally.
Yep. Maybe perhaps they should get this thing over with.
Right? I think we need less Sammy.
Well, we'll get to it. I got
Miz
some
found. Okay. Miz found R-Truth because I was going to lose sleep until this happened. And they're wrestling Cross's team later. Truth called them Farouk and Bradshaw because it's funny because their initials are similar, just like DIY and DX. Fucking hilarious writing. I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
They get paid millions.
He also mentioned that he was talking to what did he say? He's talking to a witch about some unicorns, and they gonna face the AOP later. So New Day, Scarlet, and AOP. Oh no, I'm sorry. They're gonna face the APA later and defend their titles. So the unicorns was New Day, the witch was Scarlet, and
What is R-Truth? Is he supposed to be stupid? Is he on drugs?
yeah, he's confused.
Okay.
I guess he's high. I don't know.
The agenda come out and they dress and act the same, but god damn it, they need separate entrances. And Baszler and Stark beat Unholy Union. Baszler choked out Alba Fire while just looking straight at the agenda. And before the match, the Unholy Union were asked how stoked they are being inserted into a title match because they just so happen to be from where the pay-per-view is being held. And I don't care what they said, but you think that Isla Dawn would use some of that WWE main roster money to hire a fucking speech therapist? because she is getting worse. And then they're trying to be fucking spooky and after dressing like mall chicks after they returned.
I don't know if they're trying to be spooky. Number
They
two,
had the fucking Alba Fire had the staff and they had the fire and they had the robes and no, they had the music.
well, it didn't matter ultimately. Number one, yeah, I wrote that the agenda, for some reason, Jade came out with baby oil on her stomach and she was counting her abs. So that's what we've reduced to for them. And yeah, so this was two of the three people who were going to be in the triple threat match, two of the three teams. And virtually, it was a squash match. Fire got her ass beat. Like, I don't know. It was a weird thing. Shayna tagged in and she proceeded to beat the shit out of Fire and choke her out. Virtually no offense from Fire at that point. So, yeah, it was weird. A lot of people were upset. Well, I don't know. I don't know if upset's the right word. So ultimately, I don't know how many people actually cared about this, but I don't know. They just thought that Fire and Dawn should have had a better showing, seeing as they were the kind of the outside team on this whole thing. So to build credibility for them if they had won this match.
They're nobodies.
Yes. As we said, they were seemingly just plucked because they were going to stop them.
That's exactly what happened.
So yeah, if they wanted to make them more than that, then they should have won this match. That's what people were saying. But again, I don't know how far enough they cared ultimately, because who cares about this?
Oh, and going back just a little bit, they kind of, I don't want to say they've dropped the ball with Jade, but they've like reduced her to just a fucking cartoon character. Why is everything a cartoon character?
So they can have their merchandise. And
she was a fucking badass bitch when she started. And now she's, like you just said, she's counting her abs. Where they at? Who they looking at?
Yeah, with baby oil on.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Like, what are we doing here?
Right. Well, Breaker versus Faces. Breaker had a video package before. Dragunov comes out. Before he's telling Ricochet that Braun, before the match, he's telling Ricochet that Braun is levels above danger. And he's basically facing a shark tonight. But he still comes out making stupid faces and doing his gay conductor shit. He even did it during the match.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but I do. It's weird. Him and Ricochet. I don't know how. I don't know. It's weird that him and Ricochet is like, oh man, we're buddies. Like, go out there and beat Breaker. But I'm gonna kick your ass later. Don't forget.
Yeah, we're gonna do this one more time.
Yeah. Oh, you're not gonna kick my ass, but I look forward to fighting you. We're gonna beat the shit out of each other. It was like a frenemies thing. Oh yeah, I got your back, bro. But I'm gonna kick your ass though.
I don't know.
Don't forget, I'm kicking that ass.
It's like the old Chinese movies where the two skilled swordsmen wanted to face each other, but they're, they respected each other. And they're friendly, not friends.
And they have to get rid of everybody so they can have their...
Yeah, like if there's a bar fight, you want them around. But you also want to, you gotta see who's the better one.
Yeah, I could see that.
So, of course, Breaker had a competitive match with Faces. It's weird that Braun, ran through all these jobbers, but he just seems to have hit a wall with mid-carders.
Yeah. Now, some people called this a pay-per-view level quality match.
Okay.
I actually saw this as, why is Braun struggling against this guy?
Right.
Like, yeah, why? This match should have been over like 10 minutes ago. Why are we having a competitive match? Why is he hitting H-bombs? Although Braun did kick out, so there's that. But why are we having
Well, so did
H-bombs?
Ricochet.
That's actually not even his finisher, which it should be, because it looks a lot better than his little torpedo thing. his headbutt thing, that's his finisher. But it should be the H-bomb. But now so many people have kicked out, it shouldn't be. It's
Well, I
like
mean,
it's like
all
Sami Zayn's Blue Thunder Bomb.
the things that Braun Breaker kicked out of, Ricochet kicked out of. So I mean, yeah, I don't know about.
Well, I think Braun showed Ricochet who's the man around here.
Possibly, yeah. Breaker the Monster was kicked over the announce desk by barefooted faces. And Breaker speared faces outside the ring because that's somehow more devastating than inside the ring. And then Braun smelled faces after the spear, which was weird. And then Breaker then wins with a spear in the ring, and then somehow that was supposed to help Braun. I don't see how. I don't see how this helps Braun at all. To me, this kind of diminished him. And Breaker tried to beat up.
People were saying to. That's what people were saying about Dragunov. Like,
it diminished Dragunov?
Yeah, that he took.
No. Ricochet diminished Dragunov.
Well, I'm saying that he took another loss. People, I don't know. They were confused that Braun Breaker should not have won this match.
Braun Breaker should not have taken 5 or however. Yeah, it was probably about 5 minutes. Shouldn't take him that long. Especially when they first had the encounter, Dragunov is chopping him and it's not doing anything to Breaker. So you've established that your best shots don't do anything. So now it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, I guess the only thing is, like, they might be in a program, so they're trying to, I don't know. Again, Ilian is not competition for Braun, so I don't know why it took so long, but I can see if they're trying to stretch this to be an actual story.
Okay. Well, Breaker tried to beat up Braun, or I'm sorry, he tried to beat up on Dragunov some more after the match. Ricochet came out of nowhere and drop kicked Breaker over the barricade. Little tiny Ricochet.
Yep. Now, before Raw aired, it started making its way around that this was Ricochet was getting written off TV until, his contract expires. That was the going notion. So we were just waiting on, what are they going to do? So, yeah, when Braun goes to attack Dragunov and then Ricochet flies in, it's like, oh, here it comes. But to our surprise, it didn't come at that point.
Well, McIntyre and Sheamus had a moment. Sheamus wishes McIntyre luck against Priest. McIntyre wishes Sheamus luck whenever he faces Kaiser again. Sheamus says he's going to be the Money in the Bank, or he's going to be in the Money in the Bank match to cockblock Kaiser. McIntyre wants a heads up if Sheamus wins and plans to cash in on him. Then they'll have pints and bangers and other gay retarded shit that they said. All right, Cross's team versus Miz and R-Truth.
Nothing to add.
Cross had the audacity to say his team can take over the Raw, and he wants Woods to join his group, so bad he can taste him. It's weird that Cross is the only one without a shirt on constantly in this group.
Well, I mean, look at AOP.
Oh, fair.
Really, he's the only one that can have a shirt
Okay,
off. We'll just say.
fair enough. Miz and R-Truth won with a roll up.
Now, say that again for the people in the back. I'll say it for you. Miz and R-Truth beat AOP. Number one. Number two, they won with a roll up.
Yes.
The Miz and R-Truth beat AOP with a roll up.
Yep.
Like, but at least that got a lot of people on board with what I've been saying since like WrestleMania. It's like, when is this going to be over? When is this Truth and Miz? Like, they think they're like helping the division. They're actually killing the division. You're not a credible tag team anymore once you lose to them. DIY, not a credible tag team anymore. AOP, get out. Who's next? Who's next to get their career buried and be a joke of a tag team?
Well, they got rid of Indus-Sher. They already proved that they don't
Did
care
they beat
about
them
that.
too?
They released them.
No, I'm saying, did they beat them before then? I mean, if they got released and they got beat.
No, they weren't ever on TV to be beat. They didn't even get the opportunity to get beat.
Oh, probably better for them. They don't want that on the resume. By the way, oh, no, they got released, so they have 90 days. I was going to say, by the way, why haven't they have showed up yet anywhere? But it's because they have a 90-day.
Highlight of the match was Cross doing Cena's "You Can't See Me" thing to the crowd after he tripped Miz and R-Truth.
That was a highlight. Probably
And
for a
then-
different reason than me. For me than you.
What was it for you?
He can't do the "You Can't See Me." Like he was doing it like this.
Oh, do it again.
Like he had claws like this, and then he was doing it. It's like, no, it's a flat hand. Don't bend your fingers.
How
Like,
did you even
can't-
see the? How did you see the position of his fingers?
I don't know. It just stuck out to me because
Okay.
that's the first time I saw his thumb tucked in.
All right.
I'm like, was this his fingers tucked? And sure enough, they were. Like, and then I was thinking, like, it's funny that people can't do stuff right. You can't do the "You Can't See Me" right.
Yeah.
No one can seem to strut right.
Yeah, that's true.
Some people can't even do the DX crotch chop right. It's like, what are we doing? These are like the simplest things to do. Now, maybe the strut's a little bit hard, but crotch chop, you got to be able to do that correctly. Like Mike Tyson, he didn't do it right at all.
No. Woods and Kofi attacked Cross during the match as well. So Ricochet's dragging off in the back. It seems illogical since like 4 segments have passed. Like surely they would have gotten into medical by now. Or if he's that hurt, medical would have found him. Okay. Thought you'd have something to say there.
Oh,
Breaker
sorry.
Breaker comes out of nowhere and spears faces. And he beats up Ricochet. And they rip off the Mysterio lawn dart trailer Nash thing. Breaker then slams Ricochet into a car. Officials just so happen to arrive the moment Ricochet lands onto the car. And Samantha Irvin made sad faces and cried and got in the limo when Ricochet was stretchered away. And I gotta say, I didn't care about it at all. Because Ricochet's a bitch.
This was seemingly the write-off of Ricochet. Goodbye. Go to AEW where careers go to die. I stand by that. I can't believe so many people got upset over that little line, and I didn't even remember saying it. But anyway, that's here nor there. Yeah, Ricochet. He apparently has been written off TV with this little segment. Um, there was a little kernel though, a little kernel of me saying, "Wait a minute, did we jump in too fast on this whole Ricochet thing? Because this is actually like now a story, and you would expect that it needs a payoff of some sort. I don't like, excuse me, I don't like the payoff because the payoff means Ricochet is going to have to beat Braun Breaker. But it seems like there needs to be a payoff because Ricochet got stretchered out. His fiance had to go with him. Like, I guess it depends on what happens on Raw. Like, if we come out on Raw, Samantha Irvin has to announce Braun Breaker, and there's like a thing there. Like, she's, maybe she's struggling to announce him or something like that. Then, we got a little bit of a story here. That means Ricochet might come back. Now, does that mean he resigned, or does that just mean they're using him until his contract expires?
Or they'll use her
I don't
to
know.
in the program with Dragunov. Because Dragunov's going to avenge Ricochet.
And it's for him?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's going to be beating Braun Breaker. But I will give them credit if this is if this is not done. I will give them credit that they've seemingly gotten a little bit of interest out of me for Ricochet. Because it was good riddance. Go to AEW and get your bangers in. But it seems like there's a story developing, and it might be a payoff that gets me interested. So, like, if just imagine like weeks go by, Samantha Irvin's having to be around Braun Breaker because she just can't. She's trying to be professional, but she knows that she can't even get sexed on because Braun Breaker put her man through her windshield and he can't even please her right now. She has to like he's a limp, impotent.
Nope. Because the payoff would be a Ricochet match. And that is no bueno. So McIntyre beat Balor, and everyone in Judgment Day tried to interfere, but it didn't work. And then McIntyre and Priest had a stare down to wrap things up.
Yep.
All right.
And we're on the SmackDown.
And it's in Glasgow, Scotland. Our walkers are Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles and the entire OC. I said entire OC. It's just Gallows and Anderson. And Kevin Owens. And Naomi beat the Harpy. Later, Harpy attacked Bayley and Naomi with the whale. Before that, the Harpy had to run off camera with whoever she was going over the script with, which was stupid. I don't know if you caught that or not.
I did not.
You can see her in the back. There's this, because at first I thought it was another wrestler, but it's this bitch holding some papers. So clearly it's like they're going over a script. And then she comes over just around the corner. Nick Aldis had a moment with Baron Corbin before the evil Mexicans chased him away. And then Escobar says he's facing Cruz later. Or Aldis said he's facing Cruz. Somebody say that he's facing Cruz later. God damn it.
Escobar said he was facing Cruz.
Thank you.
Like, oh, great. But for what it's worth, at least they're not facing another Mexican. So I guess Andrade would be the only one left.
Well, actually, Cruz is 120. No, I don't know. Waller effect. The only thing I have is Gargano fucking sucks.
Well, they're still teasing the. I guess I can break it down a little bit. They're teasing that Waller and Theory are breaking up still. So the the Grayson Waller effect. We start. They bring out DIY. They have one chair for both members, and Ciampa throws the chair out the ring, and he said, "I see what you're doing. One chair for both of us." And then they start poking holes in Grayson Waller's story. Oh, what? Why is this the Grayson Waller effect? There's two of you. Or no, I'm sorry. They said, Theory, why are you here? This is the Grayson Waller effect. Waller is like, well, I mean, I haven't had time to update the the branding yet. And it's expensive. So that's why it's the Grayson Waller effect. I just haven't had time to change it or the money. And they kept saying, hey, you can just let him speak for you. Gargano said that he knows Theory has more in him than this. Does he, though? Does he? And then at the end, they each did a spot where where Theory kept being hit because they were trying to hit Waller. And that was pretty much it. So, yeah, we're teasing a breakup between these teams still. I guess Theory is going to be the face of the whole thing because they're trying to paint the picture that Waller is using him. So we'll see where that goes. More importantly, we'll see if I care. And that being about Theory.
Owens and the Solo Cups. They're backstage, and the Solo Cups say that they have Owens' back later because he's facing Solo Sikoa. And then the Solo Cups started singing. And then Escobar beat Cruz. Baron Corbin tried to help.
Whoa.
Well, jump in.
That's what that's what I said. Whoa. Okay. So maybe I'll just do that. I don't know. They told the Street Profits, they told Kevin Owens that he can come to the cookout. Now, I just want to go over this real quick because I see a lot of uncultured, uneducated people in the community. I was also one myself, but I figured it out because I asked my son. So, so apparently the cookout. Because also on NXT, which had Cody Rhodes. By the way, NXT beat AEW in the ratings, but AEW is not where careers go to die. Trick Williams said that Cody Rhodes can come to the cookout. And everybody was confused. Oh, what's the cookout? What's the cookout? So apparently, I had to get clarification on this myself. The cookout is actually not an actual cookout. It's a metaphorical cookout. And it just means that a white guy is cool enough to hang around the black cookout that, black people usually have a cookout during summers. And they're saying, you know what? You're so cool. You can come. So I just wanted to clear that up for all the all the nerds out there who didn't know or were trying to they're really trying to figure out, oh, are they talking about Great American Bash, the cookout? Oh, oh, I guess there's gonna be a cookout segment next week on NXT. You God.
They do know he rode a black woman bareback, right?
He did. He's not just at the cookout, he's like he's the chef at the cookout. He's right at the grill.
He's the head of the table.
Yeah.
He gets the big piece of chicken.
So yeah, that's just to clarify the whole cookout thing. And you only get that kind of stuff here on our channel because we're not unhip.
Well, Escobar beat Cruz. Baron Corbin tried to help, and it didn't work. And after that, Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles talk shit to each other. I was out when they put the little decibel meter thing on the Titantron.
Okay, they did that on SmackDown.
Yeah, they did it at Clash, they put it on screen. I don't know if it was. I couldn't see if it was on the Titantron or not. Could have been.
The first did it on screen at Clash of the Castle when Drew McIntyre and when Sami Zayn came out. That's the only two times I noticed it.
Okay.
So if they did it on SmackDown, then
Kind of interesting that they didn't do it for Cody.
Well, you said they did it on SmackDown, though.
Yeah, true. The Tongas attack the Street Profits backstage. So they're out. And then Stark and Baszler had a vignette. And I just wrote, shut up. And Nia Jax beat Mia Yim. Stratton helped her. She threw a drink in her face. And then
Stratton is, I guess, teaming with. We're getting Nia Jax and Stratton as a team. I don't know what the fuck
we're doing. We're getting like.
She's getting punished. I told you.
Nippert Niven and Chelsea Green 2.0 is what we're getting.
Oh, I told you she's getting punished.
Yeah, I told you.
Can't be calling people stuff these days.
Can't be retweeting things. God forbid.
You can't share stuff.
LA Knight showed up to Logan Paul's house. It was stupid. Logan Paul called security, or had his dude call security. LA Knight was in the swimming pool. Then LA Knight left. Nothing happened.
Absolutely nothing.
He fought AJ Styles in his lawn.
Yep. And this time he's just like, well, I'll be going.
Yeah. Okay, you got me. Stupid. Solo Sikoa's getting ready to face Owens. Aldis slides in and bars the Tongas from ringside. Heyman says if Solo loses this match, he's no longer the bloodline leader. Solo says if he loses this match, he's coming after Heyman. And then two ordinary chicks come out. They talk about their match against the Agenda and Stark and Baszler. And Isla Dawn, once again, is getting worse. You think we're gonna go to Scotland just to go home? We're gonna win the championship.
Well.
And Isla Dawn, she looks like she has a fucking disease. She looks like a cancer patient. What the fuck were what were they doing? Were they hurt? Did they both have like simultaneous injuries? Like they didn't improve anything. They don't look better. They don't sound better. What the fuck? Help me make it make sense to me.
They were waiting for their opportunity.
Okay. They weren't ready for their opportunity, that's for sure. Solo beat Owens. Heyman helped, and he was broken up about it. Bloodline beat up Owens after the match. Randy Orton comes back and makes the save because they can only feud with two people, apparently. Well, 4 if you're counting the Solo Cups.
Yep. And that was how we end SmackDown.
Yep.
And now we move on. Well, let me show a little bit here.
All right. Yeah, I thought it was going to go faster.
Sorry, I tried to jump in as least as possible.
It's all that Liv fucking Morgan shit. Well, while you chill, I'll be right back.
I mean, 1 hour is pretty good for both shows. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're on our way to 500 subscribers. Now, some of you would already say that we are at 500 subscribers, but we are indeed not. We need more. So if you can, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down there if you're watching here on YouTube. Also down there is a little bit of a like button. You can hit that. That will tell YouTube that this video should be pushed out to more people, and they will do that. So like button, subscribe button, and then you can follow us on all of our other social medias. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. That's it. So follow us on any of those social medias. If you have any burning, or if you're going to be purchasing anything on WWE Network, Shop WWE, maybe you want to get the latest LWO shirt. Maybe you want to get the latest Tiffany Stratton shirt or the Braun Strowman shirt because he's a big son of a bitch. Whichever one you want to do, you can hit the link in our description button next to the like button, and it will allow you to purchase stuff, and it'll get us some kickback. Some of you are actually clicking on that, so let's just go ahead and get that. You got to click on it and buy something. You're missing that part of it, the buy something part. You're clicking, that's good. Keep clicking, but also buy. All right. And I need to keep going, so we'll keep going. We also have videos on the channel. We post almost daily. We have a lot of videos. If you haven't seen our Ricochet video, you definitely want to go check that one out. It's going to tell you a lot of stuff there. And we also put out predictions. Probably don't want to. We'll just say don't go rewatch that one because they didn't turn out the best. And we almost post daily, so
I thought our predictions turned out pretty good.
I guess they did. I think we missed one.
Yeah. Which everybody missed that one.
Yeah.
Unless your name's Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yeah.
One for the working man.
But let's get into Clash at the Castle. And I'll be taking lead on this one, so let me get my notes pulled up. And here they are. Clash at the Castle. So we start out, there's no, well, I didn't watch the pre-show, so I don't know if there was a match there or not. If there was, let us know in the comments. But we start out, we got the walkers of AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes, Bayley, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre. So pretty much everybody who's in a match is walking.
Well, it's worth noting that AJ Styles switched things up by sitting.
Yeah, he wasn't walking, but he was a walker.
Yeah.
And then we open up with a Drew McIntyre video package. He's welcoming everybody to Scotland. He's the main attraction of this show, so you would assume that he'll be the one doing the video package. Tells everybody, and being as the fans, you bring the crazy, we'll bring the fight. And then he ends by saying, "This is going to be good."
They did a shot of the stadium. I thought it looked rad as fuck. I like how you had to go underneath it almost.
Oh, I must have missed it.
Yeah, they did shots of Scotland, and then they showed the stadium. And
I did see this. I did see the Scotland, but I didn't see the stadium. Maybe I wasn't paying attention to the stadium part.
No, all good. I just thought it looked rad. But yeah, the McIntyre narration was awesome. I like just the visual of him standing in the black screen with the embers behind him. And yeah, it was all about him.
I was like, uh-oh, maybe he's not leaving. Maybe he is leaving tonight as champion. That seems to be too much of a moment for him.
Right.
And then also by the entrance at the at the end, it's like, oh, I'm second guessing. I was about to send you a message. I'm changing my pick.
I never doubted for a second.
Yeah, I stood strong with it.
Oh, actually, no. We'll get there.
So our first match, opening match, everybody was wondering who's gonna open the show. Well, the answer is AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes.
I was
I
shocked.
quit match. Yeah, I was surprised too, but
I
it
wasn't.
made sense.
I guess. Like, I wasn't surprised that McIntyre and Priest ended the show. Especially, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. But this being the curtain jerker, that shocked me because, Cody's supposed to be the most important guy in the company right now.
He is. But, I mean, I remember there's that thing with like Roman Reigns. He was like, I either need to be first or last. I think Brock Lesnar has that too. So
Okay.
I don't know. They either want to open or close the show. Nothing in between. So I guess for them it's better than being sandwiched in the middle somewhere.
That's fair. Yeah.
But yeah, we got AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes, I Quit match. We found out that the commentary booth is Wade Barrett, Corey Graves, and Michael Cole. So we got a 3-person booth.
Thank God it wasn't McAfee.
They said that Wade Barrett was there because he's from the area. So they had to get him on the show.
Of course.
So I don't know if we've actually talked about it, but AJ Styles, his new music, I actually like it better than his old music.
I liked it tonight because they did the extra theatrics at the beginning. In general, I don't think I like either one of them, to be honest with you. Him having hip hop music. First of all, he's from Georgia. He's got a southern accent.
Well, Georgia, that's pretty southern.
He's got a southern accent.
Funny thing is, I was thinking about. I wonder. I mean, he is from Georgia. I guess he goes to the cookout too.
I don't know. Just the rap music doesn't seem to. For I don't know anything about AJ Styles personally, but that just doesn't seem to fit. My superficial, experience with him.
Yeah, I could see. Like, I don't know anything about him either, so
He wears Georgia Bulldog shit, and he looks like he goes fishing and hunting and stuff.
He does. He definitely goes fishing.
Yeah, so just the hip hop music.
I'm assuming that. I think I saw a picture one time. He was like holding a fish up.
Okay, so I mean, he seems like he's got them camo hats with the fish hook on the bill for no reason. Like, why do you have that? I just like it.
Yeah.
Like, what purpose does it serve? Yeah.
Definitely a country boy.
Yeah, I think he should have like Double J's music. Spend my days working hard on the go. But the hands on the clock keep spinning too slow.
I don't know. Maybe he can have a little bit.
Stepping like out with my babies
like a Darius Rucker.
Yeah.
Boy, is that racist? Or what's the other guy? The other black one? You could have one of them.
Why is that? Why?
Because they meet in the middle. You want like, I don't know, some twang to it. or
Okay.
some
So,
soul and some twang.
so why not meet in the middle and get some Eminem or
No, you can't do Eminem.
NF? Let's meet in the
That's not
middle.
country.
But it's
That's rap.
rap. So he can keep his rap music that he currently has. Just gets a little bit more purified.
I don't know.
Trying to overcome it with that darkness.
He can get. Oh, I got one. Bubba Sparks. He can have Bubba Sparks.
Oh yeah.
It getting ugly
Okay.
in here. Oh, in here.
That's a
He can have
perfect
that one.
compromise.
But yeah, oh. So yeah, we got the entrance. Cole, Barrett, Graves on commentary. Cody Rhodes, he comes out, he gets his woes. Before the bell rang, they had this little song for Cody Rhodes. Is Cody Rhodes, they kept saying, but in a song.
Cody Rose. Cody Rose.
Yeah. Barrett kept talking about something about it being Earth, Wind, and Fire, but then he corrected himself and said it wasn't. So I don't know, but it was in the cadence of some popular song there. I say all that to say I liked it tonight more than I liked it on SmackDown. Because on SmackDown, they were doing it when AJ Styles was trying to cut a promo and they wouldn't stop and you couldn't hear the promo. So tonight they did it during the match and it, I don't know, it just came off a lot better. Time and place.
I didn't like it either time because it seemed like that they were a one-trick pony because it seemed like all they knew how to do was sing the names of people.
Yeah, that was their thing.
And it's like, come on. Did anybody see fucking Backlash or whatever fucking it was Backlash, right?
Yeah, in France.
Yeah, okay. Did anybody see the Backlash? Like you're gonna come at this with just singing names? Did you not see what the fucking France crowd did? They had whole songs.
They did, and they had that stupid 2 count thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought they did a good job.
Yeah. I did think it was funny that they were like legitimately giving everybody the finger. We're just playing around with you. Fuck off.
And
playing along with the show.
They had a fuck you AJ chant at some point.
Yeah, they sure did.
It's like, these guys are potty mouths. So yeah, we get into the match. At the start of the match, Cody Rhodes, he tries to get AJ Styles to say I quit by doing stuff like hitting a baseball slide and throwing him into steel steps. Legitimately, he asked him after those 2 spots.
He did.
They fight.
Surprisingly, he didn't submit.
Yeah. They fight up the ramp through the they fight through the crowd up the ramp. They go into the gorilla. They're fighting back there and we can see Triple H and Bruce Pritchard sitting there. There were some other people there. I think I saw Kenny Dykstra too. Now I did find it kind of funny that they were sitting there and so you got 2 dudes fighting right in front of you.
One of them just strangling the other with cords, and they didn't move a muscle.
And you're just sitting there looking at your monitor like it's not happening.
It was weird. I was disappointed that the backstage fighting was so short-lived. Like they went to Gorilla and then they just went back to the ring.
Yeah, I was getting excited. It's like, they're actually going to the back. They're fighting in the hallway. It's like, are they going to fight all over the arena?
That's what I was hoping for. Kind of like Mankind and Brock.
Yeah. But yeah, we did not get that. They did their short stints in Gorilla, and then they come back to the ring. Jumping forward a little bit, there was a spot where AJ Styles, he does a brainbuster to Cody Rhodes on the table, the announcer's table. And then he goes over to talk to Mama Rhodes, who's in the attendance. Now, there were some people who said that she was there because she may play a part in Cody Rhodes losing. I saw that floating around.
Hmm.
But yes, AJ Styles talking to Mama Rhodes, and he turns back to Cody Rhodes.
Oh, she called him an asshole.
She did. And to everybody's surprise, Cody Rhodes is now bleeding
He had
from
a
that
little,
brainbuster spot.
he had a little pap smear, yeah.
Yeah, so surprising we got blood in this match. Now they did say AJ Styles did say as much. He's going to make Cody bleed. So
He even said, "We got a bleeder."
yeah, but it
Which
was cool. Cody Rhodes still doesn't quit though, so he's defiant and quitting, even though he is now bleeding. He got brainbuster on the table. Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles is clearly now in control. He goes for the spot that he did a couple weeks ago during his retirement, that being the Styles Clash off the steps. Cody Rhodes turns it around. We fight back into the ring. AJ Styles, he has a chair. He does the mini version of a Pillmanizer on Cody's neck. So he puts the chair on Cody's neck, and he, instead of jumping from the second rope, he does a knee. Cody Rhodes still will not quit.
Yeah, that wasn't even close to being the finish.
Yeah. Which it should have been the finish.
Right? Cody Rhodes shouldn't have been walking.
But I did say, well, he didn't come from the second rope, so I guess that's the saving grace.
Okay.
Like he only did it from the standing position.
Yeah. He only sandwiched his neck between two pieces of steel from the standing position. I got you.
Yeah. But yeah, that was not enough to make Cody Rhodes quit. And so he's like, all right. So then he goes out and gets a kendo stick. He starts wearing Cody out with the kendo stick. Cody Rhodes still will not quit. All right, let's keep going. I'll go get the ref. He grabs the ref's belt and he starts whipping Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes still will not quit.
He fish hooked him at some point, which was fucking great.
Yeah, he got a little fish hook in his mouth. And Cody Rhodes, yeah, still doesn't quit here. So he puts Cody Rhodes into an STF, or Regal Stretch, if you want to call it that. And Cody Rhodes, he won't quit. He won't quit. AJ Styles won't let go. Cody Rhodes can't get out of it. And lo and behold, Cody Rhodes passes out.
He did.
So he is out like a light. AJ Styles starts celebrating. Refs, he didn't quit. He didn't quit. He passed out, but he didn't quit. What do you mean? He's out. Yeah,
right.
But he didn't.
He didn't say I. You didn't literally say I quit.
I wrote that maybe this is the moment, because remember I said that, you know, it'd be funny if they did the Rock Mankind thing. Maybe this is where it happens, because Cody Rhodes is out, so
right,
puts the microphone to him, and yeah. But that is not where we end the match, and that is not where we end the match either. So AJ Styles, he's taken aback that the match isn't over because Cody Rhodes is passed out. So then he's like, all right. Then he goes outside and grabs some water. I'll wake him up. Cody Rhodes is already up at this point, but he still throws water on him.
The best part is when he poured the water on him and he threw the water like point blank at the back of his head.
He did.
It was great.
But yes, Cody Rhodes is still defiant through all this. We get another spot where AJ Styles goes to yell at Mama Rhodes. Mama Rose is also defiant, so she slaps AJ Styles. Then she like goes like she's gonna sit down, then she slaps him again. And then she goes like she's gonna sit down, she slaps him a third time. AJ Styles, he's like, bitch. And he goes and grabs a chair.
I was waiting for it. Like, come on, AJ, cross that line.
Yeah, he goes and grabs a chair, and everybody's like, what are you doing? On commentary, you can't do it. They sold it well. It was like, you're gonna get us taken off the air. So AJ Styles, cooler heads prevail. So he goes looking under a ring. He finds a bag. And everybody thinks, oh, here comes the thumbtacks. He's like, no, I got something a lot better.
Graves said, oh, you know what we store in those velvet bags? Like, how do you just have velvet bags of thumbtacks just lying around? What do you store them for? When's the last time there were thumbtacks in a WWE match? Was it even WWE at the time?
Yeah, I'm sure Mick Foley did it. But yeah, now they use like Legos and other stuff, which it's great if it hurts just as bad. But yeah, they've stopped doing the thumbtack spots.
Pussies.
But in the bag, AJ pulls it out. And then also Michael Cole said, one person used to put a snake in the bag.
Yes.
But in the bag, AJ Styles pulls out a pair of handcuffs. Also in that bag is a chain. Also in that bag is the key to said handcuffs. Because why
that will come into play later.
So AJ Styles, he handcuffs Cody Rhodes' hands behind his back. And
these are long ass handcuffs too.
Yes, to be noted that these are long handcuffs, so they're comfortable, and that also is going to come into play. But then he starts wearing Cody out again with the kendo sticks. Cody Rhodes, still ever defiant, will not quit. We get another spot where AJ Styles goes and talks to Mama Rhodes. There's a lot of this happening.
He hates Mama Rhodes.
Yeah, he keeps talking to her for some reason. As he goes out, he goes back in. At this point, it was done off camera, but Cody Rhodes has found a way to get the handcuffs from behind his back where they were to the front of him. Again, mentioned that they were long handcuffs, so he probably just did the old slipperoo.
Well, they showed it. He casually just slipped them under his ass. It was on replay.
Oh,
it was like the first thing they showed on replay. Just him, just easy as pie, no struggle whatsoever. Like, why the fuck would you bring those types of handcuffs with you to torture somebody with?
I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Why were they all? And why was the key in the bag too?
Right. And why would you leave the key just floating around?
Yeah. Like, oh, there's the key. Just take it and throw it. But
yeah, let me just set it here in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, kind of made AJ Styles look like a little bit of an idiot.
Oh, the whole thing did.
But Cody Rhodes still handcuffed. Now that they're in the front of him, he's able to mount some comeback. There's a spot where... Oh, I'm sorry. So AJ Styles, he grabs that chain that I said was in the bag. He wraps it around his forearm to do the phenomenal forearm. Cody Rhodes, he takes the chair, and he's still handcuffed, by the way, and he throws, as the phenomenal forearm is coming, he throws the chair, hits AJ Styles with it. AJ Styles falls through a table who was previously set up on the back.
The long ass table, longest fucking table ever. It was as long as the announce table almost.
Yeah. Had to make sure he didn't miss.
And like, so he's setting up for the phenomenal forearm and he's looking at Cody, he's taunting him. And he's completely ignoring the fact that Cody's grabbing the chair. But Cody turns around with the chair in his hands. AJ's looking at him. He doesn't give a fuck.
Well, he's handcuffed, so it's like,
Okay.
you are handcuffed.
He has a chair. What? Why are you going to jump at somebody with a chair in their hand?
Yeah, that's why, because he's handcuffed. It's like, what's he gonna do? He's handcuffed.
Okay.
Well, after the chair spot, Cody Rhodes, he crawls his way over, and remember we said there was a key in the bag. Well, now that key comes into play because he gets the key, takes off the handcuffs, and now he starts to mount his comeback. He hits a disaster kick, Cody Cutter, and he hits 1 crossroads, 2 crossroads, 3 crossroads, the last one being on a chair. And AJ Styles, he still doesn't quit at this point.
No. Cody waved off the official.
Did he?
Yeah. The official is, after the third one, the official is going to ask him. And then Cody's like, no, get the fuck away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. So Cody Rhodes, he handcuffs AJ Styles to the ropes like a normal person would do, not just behind his back.
Right.
So AJ Styles handcuffs to the ropes. The key is nowhere to be found. So AJ Styles now is basically a one-armed man, and he can't really do anything. So Cody Rhodes, he gets a chair, starts to wear AJ Styles out with the chair, hits him in the sternum, hits him in the back,
Oh, he beats
hits him in the ankle, and the ref. So he's handcuffed. Ref asks him, "Do you want to quit?" No, I'm never gonna quit.
Screw you, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. So at this point, Cody Rhodes is like, all right, you're handcuffed to the rope, so there's not much you can do here. So he goes out to the ring. He gets some steps, the top portion of the steps. He throws them into the ring. He holds them over his head, and he's about to crush AJ Styles with the steps. AJ Styles, realizing what's in front of him,
He immediately quit. He quit.
Yeah.
He quit like a bitch. He's like, I quit.
he realizes, yeah,
Yep.
I'm handcuffed. He's got steps. So he says it. I quit. And that's the end of the match. Cody Rhodes retains his title off of this. And then we got the post-match. AJ Styles is still handcuffed. Cody Rhodes is still holding the steps over his head. He looks down at his mom. It's like, you put my mom through a lot of stuff just then. So he does it anyway. Hits AJ Styles with the steel steps.
Bet AJ feels stupid. If I was AJ, I would have pretended to be knocked out with the chairs. Apparently can't lose that way.
Well, I mean, you can't. But I did write down that maybe we get a third match out of this. Because, AJ Styles can say, hey, I beat him. He was passed out. So I would
totally
be champion.
beat him. Like, how can you not say that Cody Rhodes didn't lose?
Yeah, because he didn't say I quit. But yeah, I think that's going to be the kernel for the rematch.
Well, it makes sense, but I'm not necessarily looking forward to that. Because that means Cody Rhodes would beat him 3 times in a row.
That's true. And then what happens post-match? It also shows that maybe it doesn't happen, but it could.
True.
So we go post-match. Cody Rhodes is celebrating. I should mention, when he hit AJ Styles with the steps, the crowd was still singing his theme song through this whole thing. So.
Yeah, they didn't give a fuck about AJ.
Yeah. So post-match, Cody's making his way up the aisleway, and Solo Sikoa of the Bloodline shows up in the aisleway, and he stands kind of like shoulder to shoulder with Cody, like they're both facing the same direction.
He was even applauding.
Yes. And he says something, and then they attack Cody Rhodes, that being the bloodline. Tama Tonga and
Infamous Tongaloa.
Tongaloa, they sneak up and then it's got a 3-on-1 attack on Cody Rhodes. Out comes Randy Orton and Kevin Owens for the save. And it's like a 3-on-3 battle, and they fend off the bloodline. So I guess we're telling the story that Solo Sikoa is next. So maybe that's what we're doing next for Money in the Bank.
I got a problem with him just being. I got a problem with him just coming out and then getting backed off like that.
Well, they had the numbers at first. Then they
Yeah, but come on, man. They're supposed to be fucking. First of all, they're Samoans.
Sure.
They're crazy Samoans at that. Like, they're not the nice civilized Samoans that, you know, they're not the Samoans that you'd want to talk to and like have a conversation with. They're the Samoans that you'd want to avoid. And like, for the love of God, just don't pay attention to me at all. And it's fucking Randy Orton and Kevin Owens again, and we've done this. We've done this.
That's true.
I don't mind Cody Rhodes getting inserted into this. I don't mind that angle, but fucking Kevin Owens. Can't Kevin Owens do anything else?
Maybe it's just going to be like 1 6-man tag. I don't know.
It's either going to be a 6-man tag or Cody's going to face Solo and Kevin and Randy are going to face the Tongas. Or it's going to be a 6-man.
Yeah, it's going to be something.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to see a 6-man tag. Maybe they just do it on SmackDown. No, they definitely have to blow it off on a pay-per-view.
Well, the blow off would be that's either the 2 matches or the 1 match.
Well, there was something else that happened during this. Now, I missed it, I'll be honest. But the sleuths online, they happen to have caught it. Randy Orton, after they fended off the bloodline, Randy Orton, he was saying something to Cody, and he was like not looking at Cody, he was looking like right at the title. So there's a tease that Randy Orton is eyeing the world title now.
Is Randy Orton even on SmackDown? Yeah, I guess he is.
Yes.
Okay. I don't even know anymore.
Let me see. We got it. Yeah, we let me show you real quick.
Are you gonna get us blocked?
No, I'm not gonna play anything this time. I'm just gonna show you. So yeah. Apparently this happened. So see, he's looking right at the let's take a look. Let's see, his eyes are right on the title, not on Cody Rhodes. So
that's true. Unless he's trying to look at the
people who caught that.
Maybe he's trying to look at his wang.
It does kind of look that way too. I'm sure. I mean, they're old friends. I'm sure he's seen it already.
That's true.
They used to, be on the road together. They were in Lee.
I mean, they're in the same locker room.
Yeah. Yeah, he's seen
it. They've seen each other's dicks.
But yeah, that could be a tease of where we're going for SummerSlam. So then we go back to this 6-man tag, maybe at Money in the Bank, which is next.
I'm just waiting for this bloodline to be as dangerous as Heyman is trying to sell them to be. And I also have a problem with. I also have a problem with Cody passing out in this match.
Yes, he sure did. Sure did.
Because in
And
my
you would
mind,
think that was it, but yeah, it was not.
well, no, because they had to fucking like finagle a convoluted finish. They could have just not done that,
Sure.
and Cody would have, maintained some credibility. But now he passed out during a match, and you can say he didn't say I quit, but he still, in my mind, he lost the match.
Maybe he was so defiant that he just wouldn't quit. So much so that he passed out. A la
And,
Undertaker. I'm sorry, Stone Cold.
and he lost the match.
He sure did.
So I mean, or
But
the
he
match,
shouldn't have, because that was an I Quit match.
it was a
Wasn't that an I
submission
Quit?
match
Yeah, it was a submission match, and he didn't submit. So why did he lose? So
because
there
he
you go.
passed out. He couldn't continue,
But he didn't submit.
but he
You
couldn't
got to
continue.
submit.
That's the same thing. If you give up, I can't continue.
I even had a problem with it back then when we did our retro reviews. Like, well, he didn't submit. I think I even said it. You can go listen to it, audience. We do have that would be WrestleMania 13. It is in our retro review section, so you can go back and pull that up if you want to.
Okay, so if this were real life, let's say Cody Rhodes passed out during an I Quit match, real life, are they supposed to just sit there Indian style until he wakes up? Like, at what point do you just say, enough is enough?
Well, it's at the ref's discretion. I don't know. I found it weird too.
Okay. And yeah, I thought the bloodline looked like bitches. They traveled all the way to Glasgow to intimidate Cody Rhodes, and then they got powdered by two people they've beaten already.
We'll just chalk that up to jet lag, and they didn't expect that it was going to be even fight.
Okay.
There you go. So after that, we start shilling the Vegas WrestleMania. Hopefully, we'll be able to go. We got to get monetized first, and then you guys can super chat us so we can go to this Vegas. I do, but on the other side of that, I do find it weird that they're both promoting that and the SummerSlam. Like, both are being promoted equally. And again, SummerSlam is in 2026, so they don't even know where they're going for 2025. They're really trying to make good with Minnesota. So, the next match, we have the Witches versus the Brawlers versus the Blacks. Translation, we have Aladon Applefire, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Jade Cargill and Bianca
No,
Belair.
Jade.
Now, I did have a lot of notes for this. I did.
Okay.
But do you remember in high school when we had like it happened like once or twice maybe, but we had like a really, really, really bad game, and instead of watching tape, the coach was like, "We're just moving on to next week." That's the pass I'm giving this match. I had detailed notes at the end of the match. I just deleted. I said, "We're just going to move on to the next match." There was Jade Cargill. During the match, Jade Cargill, she went for a springboard move, and she slipped on the rope. And then from that point on, the match was really off the rails.
So it's like her confidence was shattered.
Yeah, or it's like, I don't know. I hear, again, I'm not in the industry, so bear with me here, but I'm gonna mark up a little bit. I hear like, these matches for like new people, they have like it's choreographed, or like for spot. It's like, okay, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this. essentially it's the whole match is scripted. And it's like when she did that botch, the script fell off for her and she didn't know what the hell to do. So it did not go well from that point on. She
Okay.
tried her best to get back on track, but yeah. From that moment it just went off the rails. So we're not gonna break it down too much from that. The end of the match, they Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, they go for their little double team move, which is a DDT into a back suplex, and they nail it. They nail it on Shayna Baszler, and they go for the pin. I'm sorry, before they go for the pin, Isla Dawn catches Jade Cargill in a back suplex, and then she goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. And we have new women's tag team champions, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, out of nowhere.
I took notes for this, and I just have fuck you. Bullshit. First of all, how could they not have just beaten Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler when they were like, something still?
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago when they were something still. Now they're fuck this. We spent too much time on them.
Well, yes, they're new tag team champions, to the surprise of absolutely everyone. I'm imagining, I would say, honestly, for both their sake and our sake as fans, I hope there's not a rematch clause for Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. Because if there is a rematch clause, go ahead and give them the titles back now. Because they're definitely not gonna lose a one-on-one match. And yeah, this was clearly, they were number one on the show because they're from the area, and number two, although I did find it kind of, I don't know, maybe it was a cool thing that they're both from, and now they're both from the WWE. Like, of all the places, these two people out of, like, I don't know, 100,000 people or however the hell many people are there, both find their way to the WWE. So maybe that was a little cool.
No, they both suck. They both mean nothing. Like I said, when they first debuted, when they were the NXT Women's Champions, they could have done something with them, but no. They look awful. They sound awful. I washed my hands of them.
There you go. Now, I will go ahead and note, because I don't want people to come at us in the comments for not mentioning it, so we'll go ahead and mention it. There was a little story that broke. It broke recently, but apparently this happened like a month ago. Alba Fire, her parents were in a car crash, and she lost her mother. So this was her competing a month after, competing in her hometown a month after losing her mother. So I do want to go ahead and throw that out there so that people don't go crazy that we didn't.
Well, that would explain why she looks so sickly.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, and I think I want to say her dad's still in the hospital. So it was a hard time for her.
She has a pass. Isla Dawn, on the other hand, champion. God damn it! Why would you let her speak?
Well, I did write post match. So yeah, they have that post match. They celebrate with like bouquets of flowers. They get handed flowers. They celebrate with the family. And then for some reason, Isla Dawn straddles one of the bouquets. And I said, I wish I was that bouquet. So we got more straddling.
Okay.
But yeah, good moment for them.
Bad
see what
moment
happens.
for fans.
We'll see what happens next. So I'm sure that won't be around long. Them being as champions. We move on. Master Gable, Chad Gable, that is, with Maxine Dupree and Otis, and they take on, and he's taking on Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. I did write that the "You Suck" chant for Chad Gable's entrance is already dead. So they started it in France and is already dead. They don't do it anymore. So do want to point that out.
I thought they did it on SmackDown. Or no, they just chanted "You suck."
They chanted "You suck," but it wasn't to the song.
Yeah.
So we had for me, this was our first visual of the loud and live meter, which is like this thing that they're showing to show how loud it is. And we topped out at 102 on this one.
Now remember, France got like government warnings about their noise level.
They did?
Or that's what Triple H shared that text message. They got noise level warnings.
Oh. Well, I don't know. 102 is good. What I failed to mention is this was during Sami Zayn's entrance. So sorry about that. That's a big piece of the puzzle. So they were, let's go. So yeah, they topped out at 102. Before the match, they acknowledged. Watch it here. They acknowledged that there's only 3 men in existence, WWE wise, that have beaten Gunther. Those 3 men: Braun Breaker, Ilya Dragunov, and Sami Zayn. Is someone missing there? Yes, there is. But they don't acknowledge it, apparently. For those of you who don't know, Chad Gable has also beaten Gunther, and it was a count out. So
yeah.
Apparently they haven't acknowledged it. There was even a point where Michael Cole said that Chad Gable, he trained Sami Zayn to beat Gunther because he felt that it was easier to beat Chad Gable than it was to beat Gunther. And then when he failed to beat Sami Zayn, that's why he turned. So he had the plan all along because he couldn't beat Gunther himself. I'm going to get someone else to beat Gunther. And then I could beat that person.
Yeah, they don't watch the show.
They don't. But it was good that they tried to like tie it all in together. So the match started out slow, started out technical. And it started out with each man jockeying for position with Otis. As the crowd would chant for Otis, you'd have Chad Gable saying, "Don't listen to them, don't listen to them." And you have Sami Zayn say, "Listen to them, listen to them." So each man is trying to get Otis on their side. Chad Gable, he worked the arm during the match. That was the big story of the match. If we go forward a little bit, Sami Zayn, he's rattling a comeback. He hits a one-arm Mykonochi driver because, again, he was getting his arm worked on. Chad Gable, he counters. That was kicked out. Then Chad Gable, he gets the advantage again. He hits a powerbomb, a diving headbutt. Sami Zayn kicks out of that. Chad Gable goes for his German suplexes. He hits 2. Sami Zayn, he counters the 3rd one. He hits 2 of his own. And then there was a bunch of standing switches. Gable would switch, and Zayn would switch. They go back and forth a couple times. Finally, Sami Zayn hits a half and half German suplex. And this looked nasty because Chad Gable landed right on the top of his head. I won't play that video because that will get us taken down. But yeah, just look it up. Looked nasty. Chad Gable actually kicked out of that, and he finally gets Sami Zayn into a crippler crossface. Sami Zayn reverses it and gets his own crippler crossface. Chad Gable reverses that into an ankle lock. So a bunch of chain wrestling going on here. And then forwarding a little bit, we go to a moment where Chad Gable, he says, okay, it's time. It's time. Otis, Maxine, it's time. So that being it's time to cheat. So Chad Gable, he rolls outside the ring. He looks at the Intercontinental title that's on a platform, and he hands it to Maxine Dupree. He gets back in the ring. He starts to choke Sammy on the second rope. This would cause a distraction because, as you know, the ref, once you do a choke, the ref has to run you down. So the ref's yelling at Chad Gable, and he's telling Maxine Dupree to hit him. Maxine Dupree, she wields back. She can't do it. Chad
She's
Gable,
useless.
yeah. Chad Gable, he's upset at this. He says, "Why do we have to keep going through this every week?" He calls her up on the turnbuckle. So it's like she's standing on the apron as if she's a tag partner. If you want to imagine it that way. And he's yelling at her, "You never listen to me." Sami Zayn, he gets up in the background and he goes for a haluva kick. But Chad Gable, he sidesteps it. And Sami Zayn, he almost hits Maxine, who's, again, standing there like a tag team partner. So through this distraction, Gable hits a chaos theory. And we get a very close 2 count. So close, the ref actually pulled up before Sami Zayn did. So there was that. And now Chad Gable's beside himself. I just hit the chaos theory. I didn't get the win. So he starts to yell at Maxine Dupree again. And he's telling her to get out of here. Otis, he's seeing Chad Gable yell at his woman. So he says, "I can't take it anymore." He goes over. He says, he stands in between Gable and Maxine Dupree. "I can't let you do this anymore." The crowd pops. They pop so much that the old decimal thing was at
Jesus
106.
Christ.
Now, I want you to take note of that. They were at 106 for this. This was actually the loudest, by their own admission, because of that little decimal thing. This was the loudest they were in the night. Like, they can't say anything else because the decimal, unless the decimal thing was lying, it doesn't lie. So yeah, Otis, he stands up to Gable, and Sammy, he goes for a top rope senton. Gable, he sidesteps that, it hits Otis. So now Otis is down. Sami Zayn is down. Gable's down. Maxine Dupree's down. Gable, he goes for a moonsault, and he hits everybody with that, except for Maxine, of course. Now, he gets Sami Zayn on the outside in an ankle lock. We're hanging over the barricade, and you can't win the match out there, but he's just doing damage. And this is where it gets, I guess, more interesting. So Otis, he's checking on Maxine Dupree. No, I'm sorry. Switch that. Maxine Dupree is checking on Otis because he just got both the top rope plancha and the moonsault. And as she's checking on Otis, Sami Zayn, he reverses the ankle lock that's put on the outside, and he reverses it with such momentum that he throws Chad Gable into Maxine Dupree's leg. And accidentally, Chad Gable chop blocks Maxine Dupree. Oh, by the way, she's wearing an ankle brace, so she's still hurt from the previous falling off the apron. But yeah, he hits the chop block. Otis, he's come to at this point, so he sees this happen, and then there's just this moment where he's looking at Maxine on the ground. Chad Gable is looking like, oh shit. Crowd's chanting, "You fucked up." Otis is beside himself. He doesn't know what to do. So he gets. We do more teasing that he's going to turn on Chad Gable, but then he doesn't. But this time, instead, he just says, "Fuck this. I'm out of here." He picks up Maxine Dupree and he leaves, turns his back on Gable. Through all this distraction, Gable, he gets in the ring. He gets hit with a hell of a kick. Thanks for coming. 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn wins. And still, your Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn. To the surprise of me, I don't know about everyone.
I guess we did get this one wrong. Yeah, Gable's dead now.
Yep. And you know, they got that online chatter. Oh, this is leading to a bigger story because remember I said he's getting the new Alpha Academy. So apparently, you know, this loss is really showing him that this Alpha Academy that he's with is just not going to get it done. So he needs his new Alpha Academy. And so this is leading to a bigger story.
The bigger story is going to be feuding with Otis and Tozawa.
Well, my question is, maybe there is a bigger story, but how can we okay, maybe he doesn't, you know, the bigger story is he gets the new Alpha Academy. Fine. But how are we possibly that is going to lead to another Intercontinental title match? Especially when they made such a big deal that he's lost 5 well, this will be the 6th chance he's had at the title and lost them all. 3 to Gunther, now 3 to Sami Zayn. Like, how can we go back? We can't. But I'm sure they're going to find a way. And then, you know, the community is going to be, oh, yeah, see, we told you. That's what I'm looking forward to. I told you there's a bigger story. Yeah, losing 6 times. That's the bigger story.
Well, now I don't believe him. Like in any title match he has going forward, I don't believe he's going to win.
Yeah,
and therefore, I don't care about any match he's going to be in because it ultimately isn't going to lead to anything.
Right, and you even got Michael Cole on commentary saying, "That's it, Chad Gable. That was your last chance. You're done."
Right.
Like, how are we going to turn that back into him getting another chance? Turning on the Alpha Academy? Like, really, yeah, you're done. Sami Zayn has nothing to do with you left. Like, is he just going to keep meddling in this Alpha Academy business?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't see why he would.
Yeah.
I don't see why the Alpha Academy would stick around.
Well, they're still controlled.
Yeah, but they were controlled by somebody they thought was a winner, that their coach, their teacher. But if your teacher sucks,
your teacher can't get it done. So yeah, I guess we'll have to see where it goes. I'm just trying to figure out how we're gonna get to another match. Oh, and excuse me. So Money in the Bank is in Canada, so there's another thing that people were like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be a much bigger story because they're in Canada. So he's going to beat Sami Zayn in Canada. And that's going to be a bigger deal. Number one, I don't know if it's going to be a bigger deal because he's lost 6 times. Number two, he might not beat, he still might not beat Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I care.
Well, I care to see the new Alpha Academy, but I'm just interested. Like, I don't know how we get to another match. And
Why would
then-
you care to see the new Alpha Academy? Because Gable's a loser. And why would the new Alpha Academy want to be associated with a loser? It'd be one thing if he was a winner.
if he's stringing some wins together?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't think this through. I would say it wasn't the right call, but
No, not at all. Shouldn't have had Gunther lose the goddamn title to begin with.
Well, he's on the bigger things now.
He could have had both.
Speaking of bigger things, Piper Niven versus Bailey.
Nice.
Oh. So, yeah, Piper Niven versus Bailey is our next match. They did a video package. I guess I should have mentioned the other ones, but whatever. I didn't watch them really. They did a video package for Piper Niven. I actually did watch this one, and I will say this one was good. And I'll also say that if you didn't watch like the weekly show and you just watched this video package, it made Piper Niven seem like she was an actual credible threat. So that's good. But unfortunately, I watched the weekly show and I know that she's just there because they're in Scotland. And also to note, this is no decimal things coming out here for Piper Niven's entrance. And Bailey comes out. Happy birthday to Bailey. She is 35. So now it's officially not creepy for me to be thirsting over her. But I'm sure I'll find a way to turn it around and make it creepy. So don't worry. We had mixed reactions, honestly, for Bailey. They did sing that whatever the hell song every international crowd sings. They did that. But there was a lot of cheering for Piper Niven, obviously being from her hometown. Or I'm sorry, home, whatever, country. Early on, Chelsea Green, she gets thrown out because she tries to get involved. She gets thrown out. Piper Niven and her have this moments like, what are you doing? Like, you were supposed to be here. Chelsea Green is like, I'm sorry. So maybe they're trying to do a split for them. I don't know. I don't think Piper Niven's going to have a big role after this. If I had a wild guess.
She's just going to be around when somebody needs somebody large to slam.
Yeah.
That's her role.
Well, Piper Niven, she did, they gave her some offense at the beginning. She hit a rolling senton, looked good. This is on the outside. Bailey, fast forwarding towards the end, Bailey, this is halfway through the match. Bailey, she's mounting a comeback here. She hits a hanging leg drop into a hanging stunner. Not a leg drop. She didn't do a leg drop at all. She hit a hanging stunner into a hanging elbow drop. And then she gets Piper Niven on the mat. She hits a traditional Macho Man elbow drop. And Piper Niven kicks out of all this. Piper Niven, she gets some offense here. She gets a Uranagi. And then a running senton, she gets a 2. She goes for a Vader bomb. Bailey meets her at the second rope. We get a Bailey to belly suplex. That gets a 2 count. Then a masked woman comes out to the ring and she causes a distraction for uh, Piper Niven. So she's out there to help Piper Niven in a lucha mask. No one knows who it is. It's actually Chelsea Green, but yeah, no one knows who it is. And through all this distraction, Piper Niven gets the upper hand again. She hits a twisting Michinoku driver. And apparently it is called the Piper driver. So apparently this is in her bag, and this is the first time I've ever seen it. So it looked good, and I think it should be her finisher. Not that I know what her finisher is because she never wins. It's that splash while they're sitting down. But yeah, this Piper driver looked good. We go to the outside after the Piper driver spot. Bailey rolls to the outside and she tries to mount some offense to Piper Niven. She gets caught up in a boss man slam to the outside. At this point, the crowd has completely turned in favor of Piper Niven. Weird to hear. And we go back into the ring, and the finish comes here. So we have a spot where Piper Niven, she goes for a Samoan drop, but she has Bailey a little bit low. Bailey counters this into a crucifix bomb, and she's able to hold Piper Niven down for the win. So there you go.
I got nothing to add.
There you go. No fat jokes?
My note was Bailey beat the whale.
There you go.
That's all I put.
Well, we're kind of flying through this then. And now, our main event of the evening. Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, World Heavyweight title. And before we start the match, we have our Drew McIntyre entrance. They had some bagpipe thing going on. They were playing, sounded like Roddy Piper's music, but maybe that's just.
It was,
but they called it something like some kind of anthem
because they're stupid. It was Roddy Piper's music.
Well, maybe he was using whatever anthem.
No, it's Roddy Piper's.
But yeah, they're playing that music. And then out comes Drew McIntyre. He doesn't have broken dreams, which was teased. So he clickbaited everybody there. And our live and loud meter is at 104 for McIntyre's entrance. Remember, Otis was at 106, so Otis wins. Which is crazy that Otis got the biggest pop of the night, but here we are.
Right.
So unfortunately, for the start of this match, I was distracted. There's a lot of stuff happening over at the household here, so I didn't get the start of it. So we can pick up halfway through. We're in.
Well, so they did Roddy Piper's theme, and they did a band that played McIntyre's theme. Or I'm sorry, they played McIntyre's theme music while the band. Some of the bagpipe players were playing, and the other ones were just like standing. So I don't know why the live band didn't just play McIntyre's theme music.
And this was different than the bagpipe guys.
I believe so. It was his theme music.
Hmm.
The dun, nan, nan. That wasn't
Yeah.
the live. That wasn't live people. That was the theme music.
Okay.
They should have just had like the drums and it would have been cool. And then Scotland sings McIntyre's name. Yeah, because that's their thing. They did it for Rhodes and Styles. I thought
Yeah.
they did it to others. I don't remember you mentioning that though. And
I
Priest had it.
didn't. Sami Zayn, they also did it for him.
Okay. Priest had a hell of an entrance. Like his presentation is night and day from Raw, as opposed to the pay-per-views. Because like the fire and shit, and that fucking raven or crow or whatever it is.
Yeah, I like the little touch that they've added where it's like blurry, and then he walks into it, and it like
Yeah,
becomes focused. It's like a demon walking through fire. I guess it's supposed to be like the devil walking towards you, and then yeah, it focuses and it's him.
and then they did the introductions. I don't know why Samantha Irvin got another nameplate. It's dumb. She's not that important. I get that she's a decent announcer, but she doesn't have to be like the center of the show. Howard Finkel was not. He was just named. He wasn't like prominent throughout
The
the whole
star.
fucking show. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so they did the introductions. They're kind of talking shit, and they're not looking away from each other. And then Samantha does Priest's introduction, and he turns to the crowd and he raises his belt, and then McIntyre just gets in his face. It's like, no, motherfucker, you're not taking your eyes off of me. It was great. And then skipping ahead a little bit, I don't know where you are, but I got the botch.
Before that.
Okay, you go.
So yeah, I was able to come back through it where a little bit before that moment. So we have McIntyre, he throws Priest into the prime hydration station. And then Priest, they fight back into the ring. Priest hits a Hurricane Rana. McIntyre counters this and hits a Claymore kind of out of nowhere. Priest kicks out at 2.
Is that the one where he like just dropped?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good sell.
Yeah, so that was a 2. We thought it was it there, but it wasn't. So they fight over to the corner. I'm sorry, they fight to the outside of the ring. McIntyre's on the outside. He gets kicked. And then this spot happens. So if you're familiar with Damon Priest's moveset, he has a move where he bounces off the second rope and then does a front flip to the person on the outside. So that's his dive move. Well, he goes to do this. He goes to do this dive move, and I guess he didn't hit the rope right. And yeah, his foot slips, and he goes forward and bangs his head off of the apron on the side, and now his foot is like tied up, like completely tied.
Head.
It was. I mean, it wasn't as bad as you would think it would be, but
I'm sure it didn't feel good.
Yeah. So his foot is completely tied up in the ropes, and he's hanging upside down. So much so that McIntyre like immediately like tries to help from the outside.
The ref and McIntyre, they both look at each other like, "What the fuck? What do we do?" And Priest is just upside down, squirming.
Yeah,
I seem to remember like he shouldn't be doing the little flippy move. I seem to remember saying that.
You did say that. Maybe this is the end of it.
He
I
has
know for
no
me that'd be the end of it.
he has no business doing it. And then his dumbass did a Frankensteiner later. Like, motherfucker, you're 8 feet tall. You're a big dude. You don't need to be doing fucking athletic shit.
Yeah, they said something about he's a heavyweight that moves like a cruiserweight. Like,
You can do cruiserweight shit without doing the flippy floppy shit.
that's true.
I mean, you can be creative. Do something other than something that you shouldn't be doing. That'd be like if the Giant did a shooting star press.
Well, we'll see what happens when big people try to do things like that.
We'll get there.
So yeah, Priest at this point now he's completely hung upside down,
Yeah, he is.
foot tied in the ropes. The ref is trying to get him untied. He can't. McIntyre, I guess, being the professional that he is, once he figured out that Priest was not injured, he starts to kick Priest while he's still hanging there, and then he goes and poses in front of the commentary table just to give the ref time to get Priest free. Only problem is he still couldn't get him free, and he couldn't get him free. So Priest is now still hanging upside down, and the ref is trying with all his might to get him out.
This
and
is
he
the
can't.
champion, by the way.
Yes. Well, I mean, he was done. What was he gonna do?
I'm just saying that he shouldn't have been put into this position. He should stick to the fucking choke slams and the razor's edges and leave the Frankensteiners to fucking Dragon Lee.
Yeah. And again, maybe he's learned his lesson.
No, I doubt it. I bet he does it again. I'm to work on that move and get it better.
I gotta prove I can do it.
Yeah.
So McIntyre, he finally gets in the ring, and he helps get Damon Priest. So he makes sense of it. He says, "Well, I can't win the title like
Yeah.
this." So he gets Damon Priest free, and then the match can continue. So yeah, they continue the match.
It's kind of a different match after that too.
Yeah, from that point, now Priest is selling his hurt knee, or hurt ankle,
Yeah.
because of that spot. Almost so that you'd think, well, was that planned or not? Because he's selling it like it was planned.
Well, I did some sleuthing, and yeah, he got hurt.
He did.
Yeah.
Like how bad?
He said he didn't have medical look at it before the little doohickey.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, it's not. I guess it's not falling off.
Well, that's good enough. So yeah, the match kind of got derailed from that point. So we can skip to the end, and towards the end of the match, they're fighting. They fight towards the corner. This being McIntyre and Priest, they fight towards the corner. The ref is standing in the corner, so he's kind of out of position. And to avoid them smashing into him, the ref jumps out of the ring. The ref kind of sells a leg injury for some reason from jumping out of the ring. And then he starts to get back in the ring, and McIntyre actually accidentally knocks him off the apron. So we have an official ref bump spot. McIntyre, besides himself, he's like, well, let's get another ref out here. He hits a Claymore kick clean as day on Damon Priest, and he's calling for the ref. And this was going to be something that was shot. I would say it was shot brilliantly. So he calls for the ref. You see the ref, a new ref running out. McIntyre, he goes for the pin. We get a 1 count. So, I'm sorry. They show the ref slide into the ring. And it's shot where it's like behind the ref. So the ref, we get a 1 count. We get a 2 count. And then the ref just stops. And then McIntyre, he looks, and him and the ref lock eyes, and oh shit, the ref is CM Punk. CM Punk is the replacement ref. He flips McIntyre off. McIntyre's like, what the? You ruined my fucking moment. So he kind of like starts to choke out, like literally strangle Punk, which is kind of funny because Punk, I don't know, he didn't really defend himself yet. He was kind of getting bullied. And then Punk hits a low blow on McIntyre. This leads to a South of Heaven chokeslam. And 1, 2, 3 by the original ref, because CM Punk leaves the ring. He's done with what he needs to do.
Yeah, I'm glad he wasn't the ref. Because
Because that would have been a thing.
Yeah. But he just came out to fuck with him.
Yep. And 1, 2, 3. Your winner and still heavyweight champion, Damon Priest. And I don't know what happened after we went off the air, but I saw like McIntyre was he was celebrating, or he was standing there with the fans that were there. So
He sang "Bye Bye Miss American Pie" with Tyson Fury.
Yeah, last time when I lost, he's stood around and sang songs with him. So I don't know what he did this time, but
who knows? I don't know if this. I mean, obviously the CM Punk McIntyre feud is still getting red hot, but I don't know what this does for Priest. I don't want to shit on him too much. Like, I get it. Everybody makes mistakes and stuff, but I just go back to he shouldn't have been doing shit like that. Somebody should have put the kibosh on that shit.
yeah, like sometimes you're trying to. I don't know. Maybe not everybody has to work a big man style, but if you're a big man, you probably shouldn't be trying to fly around like a cruiserweight.
Well, especially if you're champion and the company's relying on you. Like you do that stuff to get noticed, but once you're noticed, you can start to tone it down a little bit. Like there's no reason for you to do a fucking springboard front flip outside the ring. Stupid.
So much so now that you're hurt, and maybe now you're gonna miss. I don't know. I'm sure maybe he misses Money in the Bank, and then he'll be good for Clash for SummerSlam.
We'll see.
But yeah, that is your Clash at the Castle review. Some little side notes I can throw in that I don't think I mentioned. Apparently, Uncle Howdy is going to be Dave. Well, I don't know if it's just him or if it's the whole thing. Well, we finally got a date, and it's supposed to be tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. They should be coming back or debuting. So we did get that tease. And then just something funny that happened during the show that we should point out. And I did I did capture it on the Twitter machine so I can show you. And that is only flashed for maybe like a second or two.
It better be titties.
No, unfortunately. But this happened during Cody Rhodes. When Cody Rhodes got into the ring. This is this is what flashed up on the screen. It says talent name, women's tag team champions talent name. So whoever is in charge of fix the accidentally put their little defaults, their little placeholder graphic. And yeah. So that happened. I was like, oh, that's funny because it's never, there's some that kind of stuff never happens. But that's the little notes there. Overall, it was an okay show. There were people that weren't happy with the decisions. You can see that, like Sami Zayn losing.
Or winning.
Apparently, a lot of people were not happy with the McIntyre outcome. They thought they did him wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
So, all you had to do is be paying attention.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that makes you question if the people watch the show, because
right,
this story has been there for the longest time.
And yeah, the McIntyre is focused on something bigger than the title right now. Because I assure you, unless Gunther's involved, CM Punk and McIntyre is going to be well more important than the heavyweight title.
Well, Gunther is going to be involved because he does have his match at SummerSlam.
But does McIntyre and Punk have their match at SummerSlam?
It looks like it, yeah.
Why wouldn't they have it at Money in the Bank?
I think you save it for the bigger, like the bigger pay-per-view, which is SummerSlam.
Okay.
I mean, you don't, and I guess you don't want that to. I mean, maybe they can do it at Money in the Bank, but I don't know. Maybe you don't want that overshadowing because Money in the Bank is such a big pay-per-view. The concept of Money in the Bank. I don't know who I got winning on the men's. I said Tiffany Stratton for the women, but now I'm starting. We're gonna have to see if she even qualifies.
I'm starting to lean towards Jay.
Yeah, I could see that. But it'll be interesting. And then I was thinking, like, okay, they're gonna get the Money in the Bank. You're gonna have Cody Rhodes and Gunther as your champions. Who are we cashing in on? So that's gonna be
Cody Rhodes.
I guess it depends on. I guess it depends on who wins, but some people said maybe Randy Orton wins Money in the Bank, and then he just straight up cashes in on Cody, like not a surprise cash in, just like, hey, I'm cashing in at SummerSlam. You're fighting me at SummerSlam. That type of deal.
That'd be something. Everybody seems to be, or not everybody, but that seems to be a match that people are intrigued by. It'd be something other than fucking AJ Styles.
Yes. And where does AJ Styles go? Because he said I quit. He said I quit. So
I quit.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where we go from there.
Yep.
But I think from here we go to
our Wrestling Rewind.
The Retro Review.
It's WrestleMania 19. We're back to the Roman numerals. And it starts with a pretty cool WrestleMania highlight package. It's narrated by various wrestlers expressing how much WrestleMania means to them. It's got like Stone Cold, The Rock. I think Jericho was there. I thought it was cool. I thought it was funny that they would like cut to Booker T and he wouldn't say shit. It would just be somebody else doing the narration, like Hunter. And I think Jericho did one. It's like no respect for Booker T.
He was getting.
Yeah. Cut to Seattle.
He had to get his lickings in.
Right. So we cut to Seattle, Washington. Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler are on commentary, is what I wrote at the time. I didn't realize what was going to happen. This is Ross's 10th WrestleMania. He's wearing John Wayne cufflinks. And then they cut to Michael Cole and Taz, illustrating that this is going to be a long night. Because I hate Taz's commentary.
I think he has his moments.
Rey Mysterio versus Matt Hardy for the Cruiserweight Championship was first. And Cole and Taz do commentary. And this is version 1 Matt Hardy. And Shannon Moore came out with him, and he got involved some. I don't remember Shannon Moore, so. Wasn't he 3?
I don't know either. I think he was the guy with
Wasn't he with 3 Count?
I don't remember who that was.
With WCW? The boy band?
Yeah, I don't know.
Shane, or the Hurricane was in it. And Tank Abbott was dancing. Okay.
I remember. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, this match was so exciting that Cole let us know that Limp Bizkit's performing later. And Mysterio kicked out a Twist of Fate, which was supposed to be a big deal, but there was no build-up, so it didn't really mean anything. Mysterio hit the Splash Mountain Frankensteiner deal from the top rope that we've seen him do 100 times in WCW. And Hardy went out of nowhere with a roll-up. He also held on to the ropes. For me, it was too cold of a match to get into. And I am so fucking tired of Mysterio at this point in my life.
Fair. I thought his mask was stupid.
He looked like
Because he didn't have a string strap. He did. Excuse me. He didn't have a chin strap, so it looked like it was.
It was weird.
It looked like he had started putting it on and stopped. I don't know. It just looked like it wasn't finished.
He was trying to look
it
like
was a
Daredevil. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Daredevil, but I don't know. I think it needed a strap at least. That's your no there.
Well, after that, a limo arrives. The door on the limo says "Cat Fight Girls," and at that moment, I knew this was not going to be a good thing. And sure enough, 2 bimbos come out. They looked weird. Like that's the most attractive that Miller Lite, or that's the most attractive girls that Miller Lite could send to WrestleMania. Like their bodies were good, but their faces were all. Ugh.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I didn't look at their face one time.
Fair enough. And then they opened their stupid mouths. And I guess they were trying to act, but they sucked. And Michael Cole was stoked about them because he's a fruit. Okay. The Undertaker versus the Giant A-Train. It's a handicap match. And Cole and Taz do the commentary for this one as well. And this started because the Undertaker's tag partner, Nathan Jones, was beaten up by A-Train and the Giant after Nunzio stole his wallet. So it's a handicap match now. Does that make any sense to you?
No.
Okay. Well, Limp Bizkit played Rollin'. It sounded like ass. The song did not survive the test of time. The girl backup dancers were stupid. It looked like Mae Young joined them at one point at the end. I don't know who it was weird. And then Durst randomly throwing up middle fingers was even stupider. Unfortunately, Undertaker had to come out to Durst and the girl backup dancers dancing like morons in the ring. and like I just wanted scaffolding to fall on them from the rafters. Never happened.
Well, I think it didn't help that it was edited, like the song.
Well, he edited it himself.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you remember the song, there is a lot of cussing in it. So
Yep.
he keeps like,
He did the
"Oh,
radio edit.
back
He
the
did.
why you
Yeah.
this track up." It's like,
Shh. So the match started off as a brawl. Big Show tried to jump Undertaker from behind, and then Taker kicked both of their asses. He hit A-Train with a chokeslam immediately. And then Giant and A-Train flee to the floor, and you can hear Taker say, "Come on, you motherfuckers!" It's great. And then they tell us it's a traditional handicap match where Giant and A-Train have to tag each other, which I thought was funny because like they were all fighting each other to start off with. Giant used a fucking abominable stretch, and A-Train provided leverage, which is funny to me. Giant hit Taker with a choke slam, and Nathan Jones came out to karate the shit out of Giant, and then he booted A-Train in the face.
in front of the ref.
In front of the ref. And then Taker won with a very sus tombstone. Like, I don't know what happened there. That's like 2 finishes in a row that Undertaker's had trouble with.
Well, A-Train is a big person.
That's true.
So it was probably that. And then, yeah, last time it was just Ric Flair couldn't get it.
So after the match, Undertaker... go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to point out that this was a really heavy emphasis on the streak at this point.
Yes. After the match, Undertaker celebrates with the American flag, and he completely ignores Nathan Jones. And when I saw this match on paper, I was filled with dread, but I ended up enjoying the shit out of this. I enjoyed watching one big guy just have a street fight with 2 other big guys. And the only thing that really ruined it for me was Nathan Jones. Because if you're healthy enough to come out and karate kick the Giant, where the fuck were you to start the match?
That's true. And he kicked A-Train right in front of the ref, which should have been a disqualification. But then I was like, well, is it though? Because he was supposed to be in the match. But I'm always under the impression that if you start the match as a handicap match, then if your partner can come back, I mean, I guess they do it all the time. Like if your partner can come back, then
but he never officially joined the match.
Yeah, you got to get up on the apron and get the hot tag.
Right.
Imagine Undertaker hot tagging Nathan Jones.
That's probably why it never happened. But I think this further validates my point about this being the Undertaker's best version, because no way this works as the Dead Man. Like, no way you can have a handicap match with the Giant A-Train.
True.
And I would like to see A-Train versus Undertaker.
Oh, Undertaker thought he was Dean Malenko chaining like submissions together.
It was great.
He did like an arm bar and a crossface, like chained together. Like he did the arm bar,
the Fujiwara arm bar to Giant. A-Train charged him, then he got him in a arm bar, and then Giant like dropped him.
Yeah, so he's chaining submissions like he's Dean Malenko. It's like this American badass Undertaker is like
throwing soup bones.
Yeah.
And he's selling. That's the key.
Yes. He is selling.
Great. I think this was the match of the night for me. I hate to say it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. I really enjoyed this match. When Undertaker was in the corner and he was just like throwing fists at both of them, like it was a real fucking fight. It's great.
Yeah.
The Catfight Girls, Stacy Keibler and Toya Wilson, all screeched, "We love you guys," in unison. Coach interviewed The Rock. Rock is a heel now, so he does his shitting on the fans shtick. Then he vows to beat Stone Cold because he'll have done it all when that happens. And then Rock somehow justifies beating Austin 1 out of 3 times as a triumph.
He said no one remembers the first 2. They only remember the third.
Yeah. Los Guerreros versus Benoit and Rhino versus Team Angle. It's for the Raw Tag Team titles. Because, got to have 2 separate titles for both shows. And Cole and Taz are on commentary here. And Benoit almost stole the show he almost stole the show with Angle at WrestleMania 17. Now he's in a nothing tag match with Rhino as his partner.
I mean, I don't know. You got love some Rhino, and the Team Angle was there.
Okay.
And Chavo was even holding his own. So,
well, Benjamin ended up winning by pinning Chavo after Rhino speared him. To me, this was a clusterfuck that was hard to follow. I thought Benoit was the highlight. I liked when Eddie went for the test of strength with Rhino and then just drop kicked him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably the best part of the match for me. But yeah.
Yeah, I saw the gore. I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was kind of just there.
And after that, the catfight bitches did more things that made me want to pour sulfuric acid on my head.
So we're building up to, I guess, the cat fight. That's what we're building up to. They keep teasing. I guess what this was in the time was one person would say something, and then the other girl would like slightly disagree, and then it escalates to a cat fight. So what they keep teasing here is, who's more important to WWE, Vince McMahon or Hulk Hogan? You got one side saying, well, Hulk Hogan's more important. Well, I mean, we wouldn't have Hulk Hogan without Vince McMahon. So, yeah. It's almost like, who killed WCW?
Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels. And Ross and Lawler are on commentary. So, it's going to be good. Cool video package played before the match. It was just basically Chris wanting to be Shawn Michaels, but now he wants to be, the first Chris Jericho. He said that people were saying that he was going to be the next Shawn Michaels. No one was saying that. And then
I remember there were some parallels at the time.
What parallels?
I don't know.
They had blonde hair. That's like the only parallel. There was no fucking no.
They had like similar. I don't know. Like they were both dudes who could steal the show, I guess.
I don't know of one show that Chris Jericho has stolen.
Hey, he beat The Rock in Austin in the same night.
That wasn't a show stealer.
People still talk about it. He does mainly, but
okay. Michaels came out stealing China's cannon gimmick. 2 of them didn't work. There's quite a few of them along the entrance ramp, and 2 of them didn't work, and he just shrugged his shoulders at the fans as they cried. And he had his Dutch boy haircut.
He had his what?
Dutch boy haircut.
Oh. Well, he's such a professional. He got the cannon thing over. Like at the last. And he, because the 2 on the right hand.
Right.
And then he like did the prayer thing and he shot it, and then the fans popped for it. So I thought it was funny that he got something so stupid because they ultimately they didn't shoot a shirt out. It was just confetti, but he got it over.
Right. Well, I think there was a T-shirt or something in there.
I was looking, I didn't see one, but maybe there was.
It looked like there's something that went further.
Okay.
So this started off as the, standard veteran overmatching the younger, brash, coming up and comer Michaels, who hasn't been to WrestleMania since he lost to Austin, showboated a lot, and it got under Chris's skin a lot. Jericho eventually loses his temper and starts fighting dirty. The first dirty, at first it doesn't make a difference until Jericho catches Shawn Michaels. He tries to do a leg drop outside the ring, and Jericho turns into a lion tamer. Jericho is closer to Shawn's level after targeting his surgically repaired back. So after that, because before that, there was no contest. Shawn Michaels was just better. But as soon as he got that lion tamer, I don't know. It's like he cut his a leg off or something. There was a cool kip up spot where Jericho did it first, then he posed like Michaels, which prompted Michaels to do it behind his back. I thought that was kind of cool. Michaels did a figure 4. Jericho got another lion tamer, but it was inside the ring this time. Jericho actually tuned up the band and hit Michaels with a sweet chin music. And Michaels teased a lion tamer but failed. And then he went for a top rope move, and Jericho kicked the ref into the ropes, which I thought was clever. And Michaels later tunes up the band, tries to kick Jericho, but it's turned into a lion tamer. And Michaels just barely gets to the ropes. Again. And Jericho yells at the ref. Then he gets nailed by a sweet chin music. Jericho kicks out. They fight some more. And then Michaels wins with a simple roll-up. I really hate those finishes. And after the match, they go for a handshake. Jericho kicks Michaels straight in the dick. And Jericho tells the fans to go fuck themselves. And the ref leads Michaels to the back while he's cupping his balls.
Such a turn. Because, we thought Jericho was gonna be a good sport, but he didn't. He wasn't a good sport. Such a turn there.
Right.
I thought it was a pretty good match between the two. The story that told. It's like, I can do anything you can do, I can do. I'm better than you because I'm half your age. So it was a good story that they were telling there. And the little fit that Jericho threw at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought, I don't know. It didn't look like if it had indeed been 5 years since Shawn Michaels has wrestled or been in that type of spotlight, he didn't look like he missed a beat.
Well, at least for WrestleMania, it was
right.
I don't know, what was it? WrestleMania after he got knocked out by Tyson. That was the last WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
and then he went. He had back surgery, so he kind of sort of retired.
Yep, and they pulled him out.
And yeah, I like that. I'm not a big fan of Jericho's, but I thought he did good with being frustrated. He knows that Shawn's better. And the fact that Shawn's, just being so cavalier about being better. And just really just irritates the fuck out of Chris. And there's nothing he can do about it.
Yep. Good stuff from him.
Yep. Well, after that, I wrote, I think Rene Dupree went into Vince's office. And it turned out to be Sylvian Grenier. That was close because they were tag team partners. Limp Bizkit performed Crack Addict. Perfect song to bring in the PG era. And it wasn't much better than their Rollin' performance.
It wasn't. And I was like, why don't I recognize this song? But I don't know. I'm not like a big Limp Bizkit. I know every song they ever written. I just know the hits and stuff. But it was funny that they got introduced as WWE's favorite band or something.
Now they're nobody's favorite band. Triple H versus Booker T for the World Heavyweight.
Whoa.
What?
You skipped something.
What?
You skipped the highlight and the height of women's wrestling. That was the Fatal 4-Way cat fight.
Well, while you go over the cat fight, let me go reenact how I watched it. I'll be right back.
Okay. So we had a Fatal 4-Way cat fight. The two ladies. Oops. Oops. We can cut that out later. We got the two ladies that were doing the Miller cat fight, and then we had Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler. This basically was a bra and panties match because that's all they did was rip off each other's bra and oh, by the way, there's a bed on the stage. So yeah, they rip off each other's clothes. There's one point where Tori Wilson, for some reason, goes for a pin in this match. Realizes there was no pinfalls, and just starts spanking Stacy Keibler, who's in a thong. So that happened, and the end of this whole debacle happened when, for some reason, they took off Jonathan Coachman's pants, who was calling this whole thing, and Tori Wilson went for the pin. Stacy Keibler counted in, and that was the end of this. And I just want to ask,
great piece of business there.
Yes, and I just want to ask, as a serious question. I was going to ask the audience, but now that you're here, I can ask you. In 2024, can you imagine if any of this happened in 2024? The cat fight, the bra and panties, them having to strip down to the bra and panties, even Miller having like the spokesperson be two women like that, like not because they're two women, but because they're two women with implants who just go around fighting each other, which is just stripping each other.
In bed. In the ring.
Like, yeah.
God.
I'm just saying, you want to talk about Cancelville, that Miller Lite wouldn't even be a company anymore. Well, they did that in 2024.
There's not very many ladies on the roster that I'd want to see in a cat fight.
I'm just saying the whole gimmick, like that whole gimmick of it having, and I'm not talking about what happened on the stage. I'm just talking about this whole idea. Any of it would have them so canceled in 2024.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Oh, what if we have two ladies and they go around like fighting and they strip each other down? Are you serious, Phil?
Just
get out. Be saying that, you're fired. And then they got to go on Twitter. During one of our meetings, we had a coworker who said something that was insensitive and
that nobody else heard, but we got to tell you about it so we can apologize.
Yeah. And after having him go to mandatory
sensitivity
behavior, sensitivity training, we then fired him.
After we corrected his behavior.
Yeah. Uh,
Well, speaking of canceled, Triple H versus Booker T for the World Heavyweight Championship. Lawler and Ross are on commentary. So the video package showed that they sort of kind of heavily leaned on the black versus white thing.
oh yeah.
It's pretty unoriginal, to be honest with you. You know, Triple H played he was in Evolution at the time, or at least he was with Ric Flair. So, it was the limousine riding guy. Of course, they had to have Booker T lean on his prison past, because you can't tell a wrestling story without jail time, I guess.
Especially him.
Yeah.
Had to paint the picture of like him growing up in a hood.
Yeah.
His mom raised nine children in a one bedroom. And he was trying to help his family out, so he went out and he made some bad choices and got caught up for it.
While Mama was just lying on her side, letting the 8 other kids just suckle on her teats.
Yeah, he had to go. He was maybe the oldest, so he had to go provide for his family. Involved using a gun. I don't know. Either involved using a gun or using drugs, and by using I mean selling them.
Well, Triple H even said, like, someone like you will never be champion.
Yeah, like you can't be the face.
Yeah.
Poor Booker.
So it led up to WrestleMania, or leading up to WrestleMania. Triple H was obviously overlooking Booker until Booker made Triple H bleed. And he was kind of forced to take him a little bit more seriously. So the match starts, and right off the bat, Lawler said he did a background check on Booker T, and he learned he was born on a pool table. Triple H, I'll be honest with you, like, the whole fucking black-white thing just really kind of killed it for me. Like, I don't know. Like, if you were going to go this route, one, have a different outcome. Two, be a little bit more original than just the same. Because I think we're past the I'm better than you. Because that's not true. Even if you think your race is superior, you can't say, like, I'm better than you, or I can't take you seriously, or you're not a threat to me, or anything like that. So let's stop playing that game.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
Triple H used a Indian Deathlock. Ross nutted himself. Booker hit a Harlem Hangover. Flair tried to interfere, and he got decked, which I thought was funny. Shook his head.
When he hit the Harlem Hangover, there was a holy shit chant from the crowd too.
Yeah.
Like,
they couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, clearly this was not a crowd who watched WCW.
I like how Flair kept telling the crowd to shut up. Shut up! So yeah, Booker hit the Harlem Hangover. But after Triple H did the Indian Deathlock, Booker's leg was all fucked up, so he couldn't really capitalize. Triple H hit a big pedigree, and then he slowly crawled to Booker, puts a hand gently on him. 1, 2, 3. So obviously Booker should have won, especially with the route. Like, again, if you're going to tell this story and you're going to have Triple H go, look, boy, why don't you go back in the field and pick cotton, let the wrestlers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, Triple H won and didn't really do anything for Booker. Kind of made him look like a goof. Booker came to play, though. I like how... Oh.
I was going to say, I remember hearing, like, stories of, like, the people who didn't go to WCW, and it's like this, seeing what happened, Booker, like, this, and then the night he debuted, and the Undertaker was like, "Who the hell are you?"
I think that was Rock.
Oh yeah, Rock. But yeah, stuff like that. That was like what people not want to go because they knew that they're gonna put you through the ringer there.
Well, there was the WrestleMania where they bought out WCW and they had the WCW people sitting in like the nosebleed section. They barely featured them at all. They had the Radicals get punched in the nuts by fucking China Mania.
Yeah,
now
she had a handicap match with all the Radicals.
Yeah, stupid. So yeah, Triple H retained. Hulk Hogan versus Mr. McMahon in a street fight. And if Hogan loses, he has to retire from professional wrestling. We have Cole and Taz on commentary for this one. And I guess this started because Vince and Hogan are fighting over who created Hulkamania. And because of this, Vince, for some reason, always wanted to know what a fight between him and Hogan would be like. So they're arguing over who created Hulk Hogan. And he's like, yeah, I always wanted to know just what fighting you would be like. So they signed.
That is a big wrestling. Almost like, and this is only because the series is out right now. I keep referencing it. It's almost like who WCW. It's like you have a pocket of fans who think Hulkamania, anybody in Hulkamania. So it was just like a Vince creation. But then you have another set of people who's like, no, it needed like Terry Bollea. If it wasn't him, then it wouldn't have worked. So you got, yeah.
There's truth to
each
that.
Side of
because look what they tried with the Ultimate Warrior. They tried with Diesel. They tried with Shawn Michaels. Austin might be the closest they've ever come.
Well, you're saying, like if could Kevin Nash be Hulk Hogan? Could you see
like
that?
The character?
Yeah.
Okay, well then I'd say the Ultimate Warrior would be the closest thing to that, and they failed.
Did they though?
I mean, as far as,
well, yeah, getting the heights of what Hulk Hogan was.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Okay, Ultimate Warrior was over. He is a lasting name. He's an iconic name. But he was not Hulk Hogan. He may have been Hulk Hogan for like a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I guess my takeaway of it all is like Hulk Hogan, he went to WCW and created, Hollywood Hogan and became the biggest thing again. Maybe the man behind the character had something to do with it.
Right.
Like, doing it twice in two different companies. Yeah. It says maybe he had a little bit to do with it.
Just a bit. So they get to the point where they're signing contracts, and Vince stabbed Hogan with a pen and made him sign the contract in his own blood, which I don't know if that's legal. And they used Hogan testifying against Vince in the steroid trial and then leaving for WCW. You left for WCW. You left me, Hogan. And you testified. So the match starts. Hogan comes out to bootleg Jimi Hendrix. Should have just used I Am a Real American. because the song that they had sucked. Then two senior citizens. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say he was treating it like it was Jimi Hendrix.
He sure was.
He even sang the lyrics like, "Oh, go ahead and cut that check. We caught that on camera. Go ahead and cut that check."
Right. Then two senior citizens have a fight. And like I said earlier, I hate Taz's commentary, but I laughed when he talked shit about McMahon when he used a hammerlock in a street fight. It's like, you don't see too many hammerlocks in a street fight.
Yeah.
The stupid ref didn't know what a street fight was. He kept yelling at Hogan for using closed fists in a chair. McMahon got busted open with a chair shot to the head. I got to say he was at least willing to do what he asked his wrestlers to do, because he didn't didn't put his hands up or anything.
He sure didn't.
Hogan took out one of the Spanish announcers with a chair and didn't give one shit. And he actually, we learned he was actually busted open.
Yeah, what a weird detail to put in a match.
Yeah. Well, he has
Like
this knot on his head with blood coming out of it. And it looked like he was laughing. Like, oh, this is my big moment. Hogan gets busted open too with a chair shot. Vince leg dropped Hogan from the top of a ladder through a table. And he gets the weakest holy shit chant. Seattle fucking sucked, by the way.
Yeah.
There was one moment where Vince, I don't know if he hit him with a chair or not, but he decked Hogan, and he just, for no reason, just started posing, doing the Hulkamania poses. And he goes, ah! Vince grabs a pipe, and he has a murderous look in his eyes, and then he gets kicked in the balls. And some guy in a trench coat hits the ring. Turns out to be Piper. And I think the murderous look in his eyes wasn't I don't know, just the whole shot of that, where he finds the pipe and he just slowly just rises up, and you just see Vince's bloody face, and he's just smiling while Hogan is just not knowing what the fuck's going on. It's probably one of my favorite WrestleMania shots.
I didn't know what was going on. Why was Piper there? I guess maybe there was a more story to it. It definitely didn't put that in the video package.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Vince and Hogan were arguing over who created Hulkamania, but maybe Piper's like, hey, I was part of Hulkamania too.
Oh, yeah, I created it. I'm at WrestleMania 1.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, the guy in the trench coat turned out to be Piper. Crowd gives probably the loudest pop so far for Piper. He keeps kicking Vince in the ass, and he actually spit on Hogan. Piper grabs a steel pipe, tells Vince to get up, who he called Junior. And Piper clubs Hogan with the pipe. It's supposed to be shocking, but Piper already spit on him, so I don't know why it was shocking. And Piper blows his nose on Hogan and then signals for him to kiss his ass, and he leaves. Don't worry, though. Hogan kicked out.
He sure did.
Got hit in the head with a steel pipe, and he kicked out. So finally, Vince kicks the referee's ass after he prevents Vince from grabbing the pipe and using it on Hogan. I hate
the ref literally stepped on the pipe like he was. It was like when the wrestlers do it, like usually it's the heel, they're crawling to whatever weapon,
mm-hmm.
And then they get to it, and then the baby face steps on it. That's what the ref did. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
You deserve to get your ass kicked.
Well, Vince tried to throw him out of the ring, but he got caught up in the ropes. So they had to do it again. So good job.
And
then
even that one was a rough. Like he hit the rope the second time too.
Yeah. And then Sylvain Grenier came out and he kicked the referee's ass. And in the ring, Vince has the pipe, tells Hogan to get up. And then Vince nails Hogan when he does. So good job, Hogan. Vince hits Hogan with a leg drop and he covers him. Grenier, I can't say his fucking name. Sylvain only makes it to 2. Then Hogan starts hulking up. And it rivals Piper's pop. Also might be the first time the crowd says "you" when Hogan points.
Yep.
Hogan kicks Vince in Sylvain's ass. He hits 3 leg drops. 1, 2, 3. And unfortunately, we have to listen to Bastardize Hendrix again. And then Shane McMahon comes out. They have a little stare down with Hogan. Or he has a little stare down with Hogan. But ultimately, he just wants to check on his dad, who's lying in the middle of the mat, bleeding, in pain, feebly giving Hogan a middle finger. Hogan also sort of taunted Shane, so I wonder if there's like a match with him later. I don't know. I hope not. Or at least I hope we don't see it.
Yeah. I was actually entertained by this whole match.
Yeah, it was pretty entertaining.
Again, I don't know why Piper was there. Still a mystery for me there, but
because he's part of what created Hulkamania.
True. I guess we've determined that part of it, but the Piper thing, outside of that, I don't know. I still pop when I see a Hulk gun up. And I don't know. It was just this was a sports entertainment match.
Yeah. Vince was great. I liked his facials.
I did put, you said like there's 2 what'd you say? These
Senior
2 senior
citizens.
citizens?
Yeah.
I did write. These 2 old asses were just pounding each other.
Well, because Vince has Hogan in the corner, and all you see is this fucking bald man getting beat up by this other old man. And sure, they look great, from the neck down, but
yeah, they're just old.
Yeah.
Old hitting old. But I don't know. I also recognized, like, I thought back during this is like, man, when WrestleMania 1 through 10 was, or 1 through 9 was happening, I never saw that Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan would be in a moment where they're going to be wrestling each other.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Like I never thought we would be here.
Although at the time when Hogan left, I don't even think Vince being on camera was he was on commentary and stuff, but I don't know if him being a character was even a thing.
Yeah, because remember we didn't, well, at least I didn't find out until like I think the Bret Hart situation.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know he was the owner until that. So yeah, he was very much not in front of the camera.
So it's kind of different. So I don't even know if there would have been a scenario where you could have thought of that.
Yeah, that's why it was so crazy that we were there now.
Yeah. Well, Rock versus Stone Cold 3. Ross and Lawler are on commentary. And this is after Austin walked out on the company. Rock told him to take his ball and go home. Austin came back, said, I don't have a ball, but I brought a whole can of whoop ass instead. And whoop ass he brought because he just shows him beating the shit out of everybody. Eventually, Rock and Austin cross paths. And the whole thing's built on Rock doing everything there is to do in life but beat Stone Cold Steve Austin. Then a shitty Limp Bizkit song played while it showed a video of them beating the hell out of each other. Everything up to this point was worth it because we got the full Hollywood Rock entrance with the helicopter, the camera, Miami, I'm assuming, and then Rock just whispers, "Is cooking."
Yeah.
I was happy. That's the only thing I like about The Rock. And this started off with violence. Like Austin hits the ring, he starts to do his turnbuckle pose, and he turns around and he just locks eyes with The Rock. And they just kind of slowly nods. Austin slowly takes off his vest, and then they just start wailing on each other. And we're off to the races. Austin gave Hebner the finger a lot, which allowed Rock to capitalize on one of Austin's injured knees. And they fought to the outside. I couldn't stop laughing at the lone Spanish announcer just sitting at the broken desk. He's looking like the guy that like all the girls are taking at prom. So he's just sitting alone, kind of bounces his head to the music.
Yeah. Pretending he's having fun.
Right.
But he's not.
No. You can't even put his can't even like lean on something. So Rock inexplicably put on Austin's vest, and Austin does his best Lou Thez. Yeah, his best Lou Thez press, which so he does it. Normally he does the wild punches, but he just like he slowly starts hitting Rock until like Rock drops his guard, and then he starts wailing on him. Fucking great. Rock did a kip up, then he got rock bottom for 2. So then Rock did a stunner on Austin for 2. Austin finally hit a stunner, and it's only a 2 count. And poor Hebner, he's slapped, cursed at, and thrown around by I think just by no, Rock slapped him. Austin's just fucking cursing at him and throwing him and fuck you. Rock goes for a people's elbow. Austin recovers, goes for a stunner. Rock counters with a spine buster and hits a people's elbow, and that's for 2. And Rock hits a rock bottom for 2. Rock goes for a second rock bottom. Austin fights out of it, but it's not enough and gets rock bottom for a second time. That's for 2. Rock hits a third rock bottom, very emotional like and theatrical. And he even holds the pose so they can get pictures. And finally gets the 3 count. Rock says a few words to Austin and celebrates his only WrestleMania victory over Stone Cold. And Austin is given his final moment and walks off for the final time until he faces Kevin Owens.
Good match between them.
It really was. I was sad.
This was one I remember very vividly. It's one of my favorite matches. So we already knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know why I like the whole vest thing and putting on Stone Cold's vest. And there was that part of it. I also like the fact that he does he did what not a lot of people do. So you hit your finisher, it gets kicked out, and then nowadays they just don't know what to do. But he goes back and it's like, okay, just go back to it, and then he kicks out again. Go back to it. I'm gonna keep doing it until I'm gonna do it until I beat you. Like, there's no sense in trying something else. Just keep doing it until it's over.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of weird that Austin didn't last that long.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I was really just very, it's like almost like watching my childhood die again. But on to Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle for the WWE Championship. Cole and Taz are on commentary. And did Cole lose his voice?
I actually didn't hear him.
Yeah, okay. So a pretty cool video package. Brock won the Royal Rumble, and he's been tussling with Angle and Team Angle ever since. He was supposed to face Angle at one point, but had to go through Team Angle first, and then Heyman betrayed Lesnar. And then Angle used his brother as a decoy to beat Lesnar. And I actually remember the 1,000-yard stare that Kurt Angle had on the way to that match. I remember watching that live. We may have watched that together. I can't remember.
Maybe.
And eventually Stephanie McMahon states that if Angle is counted out, disqualified, or gets help from Team Angle, he loses the title anyway. So this is the match I was probably looking forward to the most, and this is the one I left the most disappointed after. And the reason being is you have two legit, like, real wrestlers who have competed at the highest level of said wrestling, and they just had a WWE match. I mean, it was good. Lots of, physicality. They, looked believable. It looked like they were trying to kill each other. Kicked out of finishes and ankle locks and shit. But I don't know. Especially after the Benoit thing. Like, he had a real wrestling match with a fake wrestler. You can't.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, you would think that they would try to actually wrestle.
Yeah. And I seem to remember that there was a match that they had that they did that. And I thought that's what this was.
I just remember the shooting star press spot.
Yeah, that's pretty much the highlight.
But I think they also had a match at SummerSlam, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they had a nice little feud. But it just boggles my mind that you have two fucking real wrestlers, like high level wrestlers, in your fucking wrestling company, and you just have them do your stupid, like, cartoon shit. But I mean, it's straightforward, top to bottom. They both traded advantages. Eventually, Brock hit his second F5, but instead of going for the pin, looks at the ropes, grins, and then proceeds to perform maybe the biggest botch in WrestleMania history. And it's funny because you see the wide angle shot, and Angle is right under the one corner, and Lesnar, using his infinite wisdom, picks the furthest corner he could possibly pick.
Well, you would think him being so far out would have helped with getting the rotation.
It would have helped with the rotation, but he's still a big motherfucker that would have to cover distance.
Well,
and that wasn't distance that he could cover, clearly.
I guess of the two scenarios, make sure you get around, but if you fall short, then they can just say he didn't get all of it.
And speaking of rotation, Kurt Angle could have rolled over once. Could have helped him out a little bit.
True.
Well, Lesnar ended up hitting his third F5 for the win. Lesnar's handed the belt, and the camera shoved in his face, but this motherfucker does not know where he is at all. And then Lesnar and Angle shake hands after the match.
Yeah, after a long time of him just being
out of it.
Yeah, sitting down, like, you know where you are right now? Nope.
But yeah, it's kind of ho-hum. I was also kind of emotionally drained, as gay as that sounds, from the Austin match.
I get it. It's like that one. I forgot. What was there's a match I said kind of the same thing. It's like, Hogan and The Rock.
Yeah.
It's like after that, I was just so
we're done.
Yeah.
It's like, what else is there to watch?
I put so much emotion into that. I couldn't
Right.
watch the rest of the show.
Like I was sad. Like I'm sitting here depressed. Like, Stone Cold. The motherfucker's been retired for 30 years now.
Yeah.
Or 20, I don't know. He's been retired for decades. And I'm just sitting here, why does Stone Cold have to go away? But that was WrestleMania 19. And Lesnar and Angle, well, after WrestleMania, on the next SmackDown, Stephanie came out and basically said that Angle and Lesnar are fucked up and they hurt each other. And she announced a tournament would take place to determine the number one contender for Lesnar's championship. This would take place at Backlash. And one young man by the name of John Cena won after beating Chris Benoit. And he lost at Backlash to Cena or to Lesnar. And Lesnar feuded with Big Show, who defeated him at Judgment Day in a stretcher match. And then Lesnar would lose the championship to Angle at Vengeance in a triple threat match that also involved the Big Show. And Lesnar beat Angle on SmackDown in an Iron Man match. It's pretty ho-hum. McMahon and Hogan. So McMahon's pissed off. He lost at WrestleMania. So he suspends Hogan indefinitely with pay, of course. Forced him to sit out the remainder of his WWE contract. Well, when this happens, the debut of a bright, young, bushy superstar by the name of Mr. America made his debut on a Piper's Pit. And, McMahon promised to prove Mr. America was actually Hogan. I think this is where the lie detector test happened and all that shit.
And he
also, he did. It's also featured Zach Gowen, the one-legged Zach Gowen. And then eventually, Hogan pulled off his mask after SmackDown went off air, said, "I'm Hulk Hogan." And McMahon got that on tape, so he fired him. So Stone Cold was fired after WrestleMania by Eric Bischoff due to medical reasons. He was later rehired by Linda McMahon as co-general manager with Bischoff. And later, The Rock hosted a Rock Appreciation Night where he taunted Austin for getting fired, proclaimed he was leaving the WWE because he has nothing left to accomplish, and because fans did not appreciate him anymore. Goldberg would officially make his debut by interrupting The Rock, telling him "you're next," which would lead to a spear. So they had a match. Well, Goldberg, I think, challenged him. Rock initially declined, but then he ended up accepting, and they wrestled each other at Backlash. Goldberg won. Rock went away, so he could be a movie star.
I remember that.
I don't.
The Rock was like, The Rock has nothing else to do. He's beating everybody. And then, everybody's chanting Goldberg. And then it's like, oh, The Rock's... or The Rock's not impressed that his accountant, Ian Goldberg.
Well, WrestleMania 20 is next, and I should have looked up the main event. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it's going to be a good one. But before that, we have Great American Bash 1997 on the WCW side. It's in Moline, Illinois. And that main event is Randy Savage versus Diamond Dallas Page. It's their second encounter, and it's a Falls Count Anywhere match. I think just like the first encounter as well. Was that a Falls Count Anywhere match? Or was it just maybe it was no DQ?
I think it was...
I have to go back and look.
I'm trying to... Unfortunately, yeah. I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Piper and Flair face the Outsiders for the tag team titles. We have Benoit versus Ming 2. It's another death match. We have Akira Hakuto versus Medusa. It's a title versus career match. Now, you would think that
Whose career?
I would assume it would be Medusa's career.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, it'd have to be because Hakuto's the champion, maybe. Oh, shit. No, I don't know. Pause. 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 Producer.
Well, while you do that, I do think the Page Savage was just no disqualification. Or maybe it was. I don't know. Let's
Yeah,
check
it'd
the
have to
notes.
be. It'd have to be because Akira Hakuto is the champion, so it'd have to be Medusa's career.
Okay.
Slamboree.
I would say, well, we know who's winning that, but at the same time, Medusa didn't stay
Yeah, it was no DQ match.
too long. So
It's just weird that they just have Medusa. You would think that maybe you get another lady. So it's not
well,
just Medusa.
the other women are just sex appeal, and we can go back to say, well, Medusa, did you make the right choice?
Harlem Heat also faced the Steiner brothers again.
Well, I noticed they also haven't been back to Sturgis after that.
Well, it's Road Wild now instead of Hog Wild.
I know, but they haven't been back.
Not
We've
yet.
gone through a year, I think.
Spring
Yeah, we were
Stampede.
on 96, so we're almost finishing the year of WCW pay-per-views.
Bash at the Beach. Road Wild is 2 pay-per-views away.
Okay, we'll see how that goes. I do
Sturgis.
also want to throw out there that we're entering into the 20s on the WrestleMania, which means they're going to gradually get longer. So I peeked ahead. 3.5 hours is like where we're going to live until the WrestleMania 30s, and then they add another hour to WrestleMania. So at its peak, there's going to be a 5.5 hour WrestleMania that we're going to have to sit through.
Christ. Well, fortunately, there's probably a lot of like Bella twins and shit.
I don't know. I'm just like, I was like, man, am I going to. And by the way, we're already at WrestleMania 20, so we're almost like done with the WrestleMania series altogether.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I have to maybe stop using the grain.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
But before we get on out, there's really no news this week. The only thing that kind of broke today is Chad Gable, courtesy of the Gorilla Position podcast, announced that he has resigned.
And he was rewarded by being killed off.
Yep. Now he did. I don't know. He kind of alluded to, because it's the Triple H regime, he trusts it more than like a Vince McMahon regime, who used to say like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get to you," but then never did. So he kind of trusts more that now that Triple H is there. But you're 0-6 on title defenses now. So I'll have to see where that goes. But yeah, that was really the only news that broke this week.
I was
There
trying
wasn't
to
any.
see if anything. Not really.
Yeah, there wasn't really anything. Oh, NXT beat AEW in the ratings. So there's
Well, that was
that.
bound to happen.
Now, I know people want to throw out the laundry list of excuse. Oh, it was the NBA finals were on Wednesday and NXT brought in Cody Rhodes and NXT's working with TNA. So all these factors is
Doesn't
why they beat.
AEW have Sasha Banks?
They do have Sasha Banks
Well, there you
and
go.
Will Ospreay and Okada and maybe Ricochet.
Oh,
So
definitely
you got.
Ricochet. He's gonna go
Oh, and
kill his career. Remember?
they have that partnership with CMLL, whatever that even is,
It's
or
the Mexican WWE.
yeah, or New Japan. What about the New Japan? They got the Forbidden Door coming up. You know, you got all these New Japan talents around because you got to build for that pay-per-view. So you have partnerships too. But you don't tell any story with yours, so there you go. And to the person, I saw one of the comments that says, "Oh, these are just WWE tribalists." Not WWE tribalists. We're elitists. Thank you. we like we like elite stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you thought you were saying when you like, oh yeah, they're just WWE dick riders. Yeah, I like riding dick of good stuff.
And unfortunately, this cartoon shit's the best stuff.
Yeah, if AEW was better, then I'd be riding the AEW dick.
Oh, and don't
If
worry, we'll get to AEW.
if TNA did something and they were the hot thing in town, I'd be riding TNA.
In fact, after we get done with WrestleMania, let's focus on AEW. Let's give them our attention.
I don't know about that.
Let's do it. We're gonna do it.
I don't know if we want to be giving them our attention, and they're going to be giving us their attention.
That's
That
fine.
being the
At
crybaby
least
bitches. Not that I'm
it
afraid of them.
starts off good. We can watch the downfall in real time.
When Cody Rhodes left.
Yeah. And we can watch Tony Khan. Yeah, we're going for Dynamite. Jim Dynamite. Good show.
It would actually might even be better watching just the AEW pay-per-views because the week. But the problem with that is, they don't. Anyway, they don't have story week to week, so
Oh, so we don't even have to watch the shows.
we would literally just be watching the pay-per-view and get the same information the fans who are watching the weekly show get, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so you just get away with the pay-per-views.
Yeah. Anyway, that's going to do it for the show. Hope you enjoy. If you agree with anything, let us know in the comments. If you disagree with anything, let us know in the comments. Don't forget, as always, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Follow us on all the social medias that we're on. Link to everything is in the description. Is there anything else?
Nope.
And on that note, until next time, top guys,